Netflix, you don't need cable. I'm on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system for your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back until you sorry try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Jury has convicted singer R. Kelly on federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges, finding him guilty on all counts. Deliberations first began on Friday at federal court in Brooklyn before the panel of 7 men and 5 women took the weekend off. R. Kelly has denied the allegations and chose not to testify in his own defense. Let's bring in Jerika Duncan now, who is outside the courthouse right now. Hi, Jerika. What more can you tell us about the jury's verdict?
We just got confirmation, as you stated, guilty on all counts. A 3-time Grammy winner, now a convicted felon. This is a case that goes back many, many years for many people who testified and talked about these allegations that had been mounting. They introduced evidence regarding R. Kelly's relationship with singer Aaliyah, who's deceased, but that goes back to 1994. There were allegations from 6 women who said that they were underage when they had sexual relations or sex with the R&B singer. 50 witnesses over the span of about 6 weeks, 11 accusers. But again, this case mainly focusing on 6 people who testified that R. Kelly sexually assaulted them, abused them. We heard so much testimony, so many hours. People were crying at times on the stand. And even within the last couple of hours, the judge allowed, instead of the transcripts to be given of what was heard on video that the jurors saw, we actually listened to the audio of the video that the jurors was sound. And all I can say, Tanya, that it is something we are not even at liberty to describe. It was confirmation that some of those horrific allegations made by the people who testified actually happened. One of them being defecating and sex acts all at the same time. But again, just to reiterate, this is a case that goes back to 2019 when R. Kelly was first charged with these federal crimes, as well as other cases and charges that he's facing. Guilty on all counts means decades of prison time. I don't even know we'll be talking about that Chicago case or the Minnesota case because he was facing up to life with these counts of racketeering and sex trafficking.
Right. I want to ask you about what he faces ahead in just a moment, but just go back to the trial. You know, as you pointed out, federal prosecutors had very credible witnesses against R. Kelly. And then Kelly's defense team spent time trying to discredit those witnesses. You know, you followed this trial. Which team do you believe gave jurors the most compelling argument?
You know, the prosecutor spent 6 hours painstakingly going through the arguments that had been made throughout the last 6 weeks here. Then you had the defense that essentially framed this as these are women, they said, that were liars and were opportunists. But obviously the jurors of 7 men and 5 women saw it differently, guilty on all counts. But we knew that this was going to last several weeks, that there was going to be a lot of information and testimony given by various people, not just people who accused R. Kelly of sexually assaulting them, but people who worked with him. The defense only called 5 witnesses, while the prosecution called a total of 45, and again, that over a 6-week period.
And of course, R. Kelly still has legal battles.
Hey everyone. What's up, Nikki? Sorry about the echo. I don't know why I had an echo because that was the screen that was open, but hey, we dealing with StreamYard. So I can be iffy at times. But anybody who wants to jump on the panel with me, feel free, child. We're about to have a whole panel discussion over here. And also I want to hear from some of you who still feel like he shouldn't be in jail. I want to hear from those of you who feel like he got his just due, even though this ain't the end, because he still is facing charges in in Chicago. So this is just the current trial that he's going through, but there's still more charges because with him basically what they were saying with the sex trafficking, he was flying girls from here, there, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Florida. He was having girls fly in and out from everywhere. Young girls, older girls, some older, some younger, but a lot of them was underage. So I, for one, as most of you know, if you've been following me for a long time, this current trial I've been following very, very closely and doing commentary on. See, I'm thinking of the R. Kelly series documentary, at the same time. But I've been doing commentary on this since 2018, when he first got locked up. So as far as where I am concerned, as far as my point of view, I felt like he got what he's deserved, and it's been a long time coming. And I really hate that he was not convicted years ago when it came to marrying Aaliyah when she was only 15. I really hate that he was able to assault Sparkle's niece when she was a young kid. The video, him urinating on her. We all know about the 2008 trial. And I really hate that he wasn't charged then. Because with a lot of these pedophiles, child molesters, sexual assault people, predators, monsters out there, he ain't the only one. There's many in the industry. I feel like a lot of them, if people would just open their eyes up and stop being silent for a check, for fame, to be part of somebody's entourage, like, a lot of this shit wouldn't keep happening over and over and over and over. Now, we know R. Kelly ain't the only one. Weinstein. We can go on and on about the different celebrities, the different head honchos in these production companies, music label companies, TV platforms, every entertainment industry and beyond. There's always a monster, and there's always people following that monster and allowing them to contribute to do what they do because they continue to keep silent in fear of losing their job or possibly even worse, getting hurt in some way, shape, or form. In this particular case with R. Kelly, he was, oh my God, he had a lot of money. He had a lot of money from somebody who came from the hood, from the ghetto, a very low income class household, to becoming a famous, very famous, notable musician, superstar, king of R&B, whatever you want to call him. To come from those lowly means, or should I say, I don't want to say lowly, but humble beginnings. I'll say from humble beginnings. You would think that, a lot of people would take in consideration of where they came from. and want to keep that going. But a lot of them tend to mess up and ruin their entire career. And in ruining their career, they ruin the careers of everybody else around them. Like for example, R. Kelly had to cancel his tour in 19. His tour, of course, there's the band, there's the dancers, there's the production crew, there's the lighting crew, there's the camera. I mean, it's a whole line of people that are without a job because of that. Not only that, but at the label, he was supposed to be putting out more albums. So he couldn't do that as well as continue on his tour or start his tour. Not only that, but his family. Like that's the worst of all. And it's sad to say because although this is like a huge embarrassment to those people who are close to them, one would think that, but then on the flip side is like, would they really think that when we know that this man people have been enabling him all the way back to who knows when? Like a lot of people think Aaliyah was his first victim. Yeah, he started messing with her when she was 12 or 13 years old. They got married when she was 15. But I hardly believe that Aaliyah was his first victim. I mean, hell, he was a victim himself at a very young age. And some of y'all don't know, some of y'all who've been following, y'all know that I still think that part of the reason why he is a predator is because of the people who preyed on him as a young adult and nothing was ever done. Nothing was ever done. But I mean, not that I'm feeling uh, trying to get him a pass or anything. Yeah, I feel sorry that that happened to him. But sexual molestation, sexual abuse um, happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people. Hell, I am one of them, and I spoke about that several times before. Several times before. I'm a victim of that. Um, almost everybody I know, a lot of females and a few males that I know, um, were victims of childhood sexual abuse. We didn't turn around and go out there and make everybody who crossed our paths a victim as well. That's the difference. That's the difference. But in his case, again, he was assaulted when he was younger. It was about, I want to say he was 5 or 6. It came out on the Lifetime series. His brother was talking about it. And his brother said that, there was an older man in the neighborhood. Um, he used to prey on young boys. And one day, uh, him and Kelly was over in the area, and the man, I can't remember if he offered them something to do something. You know how predators, they entice these children, have them come to their car or come to their house, and that's what happened. And R. Kelly, he sexually assaulted R. Kelly. He was able to get away. They were able to tell their mother, but their mother pressed charges. Matter of fact, the man was beaten. It was like people, I don't know if it was R. Kelly's family or people in the neighborhood, but the man got beat up. Um, and then he got locked up. And then his mother was bribed with $500. His brother was bribed by $500. I mean, yeah, his mother. And because of that, the man was able to get off and go back home and probably continue to assault other children in that neighborhood. Then, of course, we all know and heard about his sister who allegedly assaulted him and his brother when they got a little bit older. And as far as I know, nothing was done about that either. She was never locked up. As it is with a lot of family members, a lot of times they just sweep it under the rug. They talk about it, chastise the person who did it, might even, keep their distance from the person until they have to end up seeing them again at every doggone family function, throughout the year. But in his case, those things did happen to him. And again, I'm not giving him no pass. I'm not giving him no pass at all. But it was $500, Melissa. That's what makes it even more sad. It was $500. Mm-hmm. $500, which back then in the 70s, was like $5,000. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Get that money to the Good Times crew, the Good Times cast members. They would have been able to move out the projects. But yeah, the amount don't matter. But it was very sad that it was $500. And again, if anybody else wants to jump on the link, feel free. You know, I was actually taking notes on uh BMF, Black Mafia Family. I was taking notes on that show because I was supposed to be doing a review of that show. You know, it just premiered the other day after the Power Raising Canaan finale. It came on right after that. So I was going to do I already had my Power episode, final finale episode. I already got that set up for 9. Is it 9 tonight? I think 8 tonight. And I was going to do the BMF review right before that, but then I got word that R. Kelly, the jury was back. They said he was guilty on all charges. So I'm like, oh damn, I'm right in the middle of, I'm almost finished with the BMF show, and I'm like, okay, so most likely I will not get to that today, but I'll still do the Power review tonight, and then I'll just have to do BMF tomorrow. But if y'all haven't watched BMF on Stars, y'all need to watch that. Something about these older shows, these throwback shows from the 70s and the 80s, you know, the early 90s, my era, with the hood, the blings, the fancy cars, the hot girls, the asymmetrical haircuts, the long nails, you know what I'm saying? It's just something that just takes me back. And no, let's not forget the music, man. In the first episode, they was playing Houdini, One Love. I was like, oh my God, I was up there. Hey, One Love, One Love. Y'all remember that? But hey, 2300 Jackson, Lip with the Gun. Oh my God, you always changing your name. You and Clyde is always changing y'all names. Hey, Tony Dimples. You said I can't participate in the chat because I'm at work, but here supporting. Thanks, boo. I appreciate it. Y'all and y'all names. Talent said my body is telling me no, but my body, oh, that was one of my favorite songs. But we cannot take away the fact that this guy was like, I don't know. He was like a musician, magician or something. He could barely read. He could barely write. Yet his brain had these capabilities of putting together this music, these sounds, these lyrics, choruses. I mean, he was all that in a bag of chips, as we used to say back in the day. See, now y'all got me stuck back in the day from watching BMF earlier. But you said you feel guilty laughing. But yeah, so anyway, back to R. Kelly. He was found guilty on all charges. The verdict comes 13 years after he was acquitted, and that was the 2008 trial that he should not have been acquitted from that trial. But when you have parents like we had back then who worked for R. Kelly, was a part of his band, and also an enabler like everybody in his entourage, who didn't allow their child to testify, who lied and said that was not their child on that tape, being urinated on by R. Kelly. That's what you get, an acquittal. And I still said, I can't remember which show it was on, but I had told y'all, I really wish that the person, Sparkle's niece, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I really wish that she would come forward and then speak on what she went through, because she wasn't allowed a voice back then. She wasn't allowed a voice back then. Okay, somebody said kick somebody out the chat. Okay, hold up. I don't think I got any mods in the chat. Okay, let me go back up. Oh God. Who should I kick out the chat? Okay, Sassy, you said kick him out of your chat. Are you referring to? Oh, it's see, I'm confused now. Okay, y'all gotta let me know something. Let me know something. Oh, talent. Oh, you was joking. Oh, boy, you was about to get blocked. I'm like, ain't nobody in my chat. Most of the people who are most of the people who are my there we go, there's one of my mods. Jump on the link, Carmel Diva. Sassy, you can jump on the link too. I know you guys pretty well. Anybody else, if I don't know you, you have to definitely show your face before I allow you on the screen. That's okay, Sassy. Girl, I'm up here scrolling up. Like, where he at? Where he at? But yeah, yeah. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay, I really wish Sparkle's niece could speak now. You know, um, I don't know if it'll make it easier for her to speak because of the fact that back then he was acquitted because of the fact that she couldn't speak. You know, and what's his name? The Carmel Diva. We was talking about him. Um, what was that? 2 weeks ago. Uh, what's the guy name from the morning show? The morning show. The one who he took a plea deal, and the girl that he allegedly assaulted, her mother wouldn't let her speak in court. What was his name? I can't remember his name. Charlemagne. Kind of like the same situation. And to me, that's the same thing as having a predator inside your family. You still sweeping something up under the rug. But yeah, that's exactly what happened to Sparkle's niece. It was so-called basically just swept under the rug. And her father continued to work for R. Kelly, continued to play in his band, and continued to get a paycheck from that man. It couldn't be me. It just couldn't be me. Being somebody who went through something like that, growing up with a predator and being assaulted as a child, I could never let that happen to my child. Like, we can't stop everything because we can't be everywhere all the time with our children, just like we can't stop them from having sex or doing drugs or committing a crime. We can't even be there all the time to keep them from being assaulted. But we can do something after we find out. And that is to get the person who did it to your child, who harmed your child, who touched your child, locked up. And a lot of that hasn't been done within the Black family. And then we also have it going on in the media. And we got all these people out here, the ones who still ride or die. Now. Like I said about his music. I said about his music. Just like somebody said in the chat. They still love his music. And ain't nothing wrong with still loving his music. Nothing at all. It just hits differently for some of us. Some of us, it just hits differently, especially if you've been a victim of that type of crime. It just hits differently. And me personally, I haven't listened to his music since, oh my God, probably since 2019 or at least before that. Now, after he got let off from the 2008, when he got acquitted from 2008, I was a wee bit younger. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. I'm gonna keep it funky with y'all. I was a wee bit younger. And at that time, I wasn't that much really into the media and into trending news and into advocating for certain things like I am now. I honestly was too busy trying to keep a roof over my head and my children's head back then. I'm not gonna lie. And before that time, when we was hearing about all this stuff that R. Kelly was doing, I was still listening to us, bumping, grinding in the backseat of somebody's Jeep, reminding somebody of something. I was doing all that to his music, all that. And it wasn't until like 2019 when these allegations came out again, and I was like, oh God, let me sit down and listen to this shit. Like really take some interest into this shit. And yes, like Carmel Diva said, she still loves his music too. But she do know he is a monster. He is a monster. And I don't judge nobody or look at anybody, crazy or side eye because they still listen to the music. Hell, I'm not gonna lie. I can go right over to my cabinet right now and show you all of the CDs that I have on him. Will I ever listen to him again? I don't know. But how I've been feeling over the last couple of years, I haven't. But I haven't tossed it out. And I don't know, maybe that could be because I spent so much money on his music. I mean, I literally have every single CD all the way back to Public Announcement. I have a lot of old school. I mean, all the Silks, all the Shies, all the Tevin Campbells, all the R. Kellys, all the guys. I mean, I have everything from back. I'll be sure. I got New Edition. Everybody. Hey, Carmel Diva Boo.
Hey.
But yes, I have a collection. I have a throwback old school collection like you could not believe. But anyway,
girl,
go ahead, Boo.
But yeah. I still listen to him. I know how to compartmentalize. I can take the man out of the music. The music is timeless. It really is. And it put in each song, you can remember where you were, what you were doing, what it, But my thing, this is something I got to bring up, and people may be like, "Oh, well, you know me, I don't give a shit."
Sorry, I got the sniffles. I need some tissue. Go ahead.
I want to know. I mean, I wasn't surprised that he was found guilty. I told you they were going to make an example out of him this time.
As they should.
They were going to find him guilty because they didn't get him the last time.
Exactly.
I've said that. Go back and watch. I've said that time and time again.
Yep,
but this is what I want to say, or I should ask: why is it so pertinent now that he's arrested? Why didn't they feel this way back in '95 when they found the damn marriage certificate to a 15-year-old child? Why wasn't nobody?
Because it wasn't really found by the public. It was found by her parents. The thing is, it was kind of like in 2008, and with the Charlemagne, the parents have like the say in most situations. Are we gonna press charges on this person? Are we not?
Not all the time. Not all the time.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
Take over. A lot of times the state will take over. A lot of times the state will take over.
Right, that's true. But in this situation, I do believe that her parents were mainly the people responsible for him not going to jail. I mean, like when they was talking about Aaliyah in court, they couldn't even speak. Him nor his attorneys could not speak on Aaliyah. The entire time the other people was testifying about Aaliyah. They couldn't say one word. Why? Because their parents had him sign an NDA. Years ago, after he paid them, he couldn't breathe that girl's name. His lawyers couldn't even say her name in court. They said, we can't speak on it. That's all they said. They didn't cross-examine nobody. They didn't cross-examine the preacher. They didn't cross-examine the cop. They didn't cross-examine the lady who worked at
that's ineffectual counsel. That should have been thrown out. Because and his counsel should have said something, because that's ineffectual counsel.
People from the welfare office, they didn't cross-examine the security, the manager who got the fake ID for $500. They didn't cross-examine none of them because they couldn't, because the parents made him sign an NDA once they found out.
But my thing is this, Tanya, they're in federal court. That NDA shouldn't even come into play in a court. When you're in court, that shouldn't even come into play, especially if you are dealing with the lives and welfare of children.
But if you were to get married, who do you think would probably be the first one to find out? Your parents, not the police.
Right, because and her parents should face some kind of charges.
She got a fake ID. That's you. She had a fake ID when she
Well,
got
y'all,
married. There was nobody to press charges because nobody even knew they were married. It was just a rumor going around. And on top of that, like Sassy said in the chat, she said it's more of a Me Too movement
so
atmosphere going around right now too. That kind of helps.
if they would have got married, can y'all hear me? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
You're
hear
gonna
you.
have to turn it off. Turn it off. I told you that. I'm sorry, my granddaughter in the background.
That's okay.
I was saying that you gotta figure too that when they got married, I believe they got the marriage license. I think it was like in Florida somewhere.
No, it was in
No, it was in
Chicago.
Detroit. It was
Chicago.
Detroit.
It
Okay,
was
it
in
was in Chicago.
Chicago.
Okay, let me tell. But I
Oh, that's
think
right. It was
they got
Chicago.
him. It was something about Florida about a fake ID or something like that. But at any
No,
rate, wherever.
that all came from Chicago. That
Okay,
all came
so
from
but
Chicago.
listen to this. All information doesn't cross states.
Mm-hmm.
I got married to my first husband in Ohio.
Yeah.
At that time, the computer systems didn't cross.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to actually inquire the county where we went in Ohio to get married in order to
Mm-hmm.
find out that we were married, or we would have had to produce a marriage license. So there
Yeah.
are ways at that time, not now, because now most states are, especially the states that are closed, they have
And our
interstate
modern
medical.
technology, where
Exactly.
everybody can access everything by the internet. Yeah.
You can, yeah. So therefore, it's easier. It was easier to conceal those things back then. But now you're looking at a time where it'll take you 30 seconds to find out if you were arrested in your state and for what.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it would have
Just like
taken.
before, when the police used to have to pull you over first and then run you and then find out. Now they can do that in seconds if
Exactly.
you
Now
just
they
drive
run you
right
while
past them. You can just
Yep.
drive right past them.
And I
Mm-hmm.
got one better for you. They send you tickets in the mail now because they got cameras out there that's taking pictures of your plates.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
There's
They
been
take
several
cameras.
times where I'm like, oh damn, something gonna come in the mail.
Yup.
Yeah, they do that
You
in
got.
Texas.
Now the good thing about that is that you can always, those are a little easier to beat because of the fact you could have been going to work. It could have been the person that was ahead of you. It could have been anything. So, but at any rate, this whole scenario is sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's he has a sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's even okay, see, this is the thing, and let me just slow down and back up a little because I got excited.
Go ahead.
So the thing about it is, even if, like, I hear a lot of people say, okay, he couldn't have did all of them, how he get all these women, and how you do this and how you do that. Number one, you start one at a time. You start by manipulating one at a time. And that's how you start mentally. That's how cults are so successful. They start at one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing with Charles Manson. Same thing with Nature Boy, with the Davidians, the Haley comic people, all of that. You start with one individual at a time to believe your story, and then you got somebody to go ahead and spread your gospel. And that's how
Now
those
I
type of
believe
things happen.
now don't get me wrong, I believe that he did a lot of what they said he did. I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe a lot of those women. Do I believe all of them? Nope. I
But it
don't.
don't matter if
I
it's
don't.
one of them or 20 of them. He did those crimes. He did enough. He did enough.
Mhm.
It no
Mhm.
longer even matters if he did it to all 55 women and only did it or only did the 40. He did it to enough to what he one is too many. One is too many. And as far as like his music,
55.
like some people,
That was the point
it
I
was
was
a
about to
lot.
make.
It's been hundred. Girl, the ones who came to church, them ain't even. That man had messed with hundreds and hundreds of women. I don't know how many boys, but I know hundreds and hundreds of women. But when it comes to like people who still listen to his music, that takes me back to a time when, remember when everybody uh was boycotting certain companies, like let's say Gerbo, or let's say
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Tommy Hilfiger. Yeah,
Yeah.
the clothes was still nice. I mean, shoot, that's all we wore in high school was Tommy Hilfiger. And after hearing about him making racism marks or something like that, a lot of people was like, okay, the clothes are still nice, but we're not gonna
But you
support
know
it.
what?
You know what I'm
But
saying?
I never fell for it. You know why? Because if you think about it, and I mean seriously think about it, every
Mhm.
few years if somebody new, they come out with, oh, they said they don't like black people.
Mhm.
Oh, they don't make their product for black people.
Right.
They did that with, what was her name, Elizabeth Arden or Elizabeth Taylor, whichever one that was. I think they did it to both of them. Actually, they did it to Tommy Hilfiger. I think they did it to. I know they did it to Tommy. I think
Mhm.
they did it to Javo. They do that every few years. It comes
Right.
out. Oh, they don't like the. So I don't even buy into that.
Well,
I,
you might not
I
buy
can't.
into it. I'm just using an example. And like exactly like Melissa also said, Chris Brown was also blacklisted after the Rihanna thing. So it's like some
Hmm.
people are moved by certain crimes or some certain allegations, and some people are not. And Miranda said, like the Michael Kors purses, it's an individual thing. So I don't like if somebody tells me they listen to R. Kelly, I don't trip. I don't be like, why you listen to that? Do you, boo? But there's some people who refuse to keep funding this type of monster, funding this type of person who has no respect for anybody's child, not even his own kids. He out here sleeping
Now
with
I'm
all
trying
these
to
other
figure out
kids
why they.
and not even paying attention to his own kids, not paying child support for his own kids, but sexually assaulting everybody else's kids. It's like it's ridiculous. So yeah, I ain't threw away none of his tracks, none of his CDs. I just haven't listened to him in years. Maybe one day I'll feel like, okay, let me pop in, step in the name of love. I don't even have no desire. Like honestly, I've not even had a desire to listen to his music in years.
Right.
Not
I'm
even to
not gonna
hear
lie
his
to
voice.
y'all.
Not
I'm
even
not
to
gonna
hear
lie.
his voice. Because I think disgusting thoughts every time I hear him, I just be thinking this nasty. It's crazy. And that's just how it is with certain people. But to each his own again, people can
I'm
continue to support whoever they support, like Michael J. A lot of people believe he was molesting little boys. Some people didn't, and they kept going to his concerts, buying his music. So but what he did what he did. We know that. So people can't keep saying, "Oh, he's innocent. He's innocent. He ain't never done nothing wrong." I hope we can all lay that to rest for a lot of the naysayers. Girl,
I'm not gonna lie and say like I'm not gonna purposely and buy any of his music or anything like that. But it's hard for it to come on the radio and you not tap or move step to the.
I
It's
agree.
hard.
I agree.
It's hard because
Hmm.
it's
I
like,
agree.
and then the other thing is baby, you know how many killer musicians and
Hmm.
actors and comedians.
Hmm.
And I was reading about the comedian, the oh my god, he's somewhere by you. Remember me telling you about that? He's locked up over there somewhere by you, if I'm not mistaken.
I was just about to say that,
In
Sassy, but I was
Oklahoma.
waiting for her to finish. Go ahead.
That
I don't know who you talked about, but I was going to say what
the
Sassy just said.
comedian Michael something, I can't think his name, but
Michael
they were
Blackson?
calling him the huh?
No, it
No,
can't be
it
Michael
wasn't Michael
Blackson.
Blackson. No. This is some comedian that was like earlier 2000s, and back there he was pretty much a clean kind of comedian, but he was turned out he was a rapist, a serial rapist.
I don't know who you talking about, but
I know who you
it's
talking
one thing.
about.
It's one thing to
I seen an
have.
article on him.
It's one thing to hear
Yes.
something about somebody and then to continue hearing somebody continually in the public eye, like continually in trouble with the law, continually is allegations and rumors. It's a big difference. You know, when it's somebody that's out there all the time, just doing crazy shit, and we always hear about it, you can't help but to pay more attention to it. And as far as his records, like Sassy said, they aren't even played on the radio in most places. And if I ever heard it on the radio, I would turn the station. That's like honest to God. The only time I really hear his music is if I'm at somebody's house. You don't hear it in the stores unless it's like a hood store and they playing it like at the Family Dollar on 30th, down on Sprague Street. I didn't heard it in there when I didn't went up in there. You know, certain places you'll hear it, but it's usually like in somebody's crib.
You still hear it
So,
in remixes and everything else, girl.
well, yeah, you
I
hear like
mean,
the remixes and stuff. Like, you know what I mean, though. Like the whole song, this
especially when the
album.
summer first hit, keys in the ignition.
Yeah,
You get it. Okay, now come on, girl. Bump
right.
and
But you're not
grind.
hearing his
Every time
albums.
somebody feel like it,
Right, but you're not
yeah,
hearing his albums being played. You might hear people
right,
taking
exactly.
snippets of his music to add to their music, which will never ever go away. But as far as his whole albums, people aren't really on that shit. And after he's convicted, I'm sure ain't no radio station's gonna be trying to play him ever again.
But see, I can't say
Hey,
that because think about it like Chuck Berry. They knew they arrested him for taking a white girl across state lines and she was underage. And
that's what I'm saying.
allegedly he raped her, but
But y'all
they
gotta
still play
remind
his
me,
music.
you keep forgetting the Me Too movement though. That has more precedence on a lot of these crimes these days that are people are getting convicted for or charged for.
But
A
then
lot of
you
that
got to
stuff
think
back in the
too.
a lot of that
Me
stuff
Too is
back
a
in the
wonderful
old days.
thing. Look, Me Too is a wonderful thing, but look at how many people have been falsely accused by that too. We got to take that into
I
account
don't
too. And
know. Give me some.
I'm not
I
saying that
gotta see
he
the
is.
examples of those
I'm
because
not
I
saying that
don't
he is.
know.
Oh,
I
it
don't know
has
of
been. It's been
anybody that
lots of them.
I don't know. I don't know. And it's always gonna be somebody out there who done lied. It's always gonna be somebody out there who done lied. But I mean, the majority of the people who make allegations against people, I mean, the majority of the time, they don't just make up shit. They don't. It's not just a lot of people running downtown saying I was raped that are lying. It usually really happens. But most people don't feel like they want to explain it or tell about it or press any charges because of the backlash you get from people who think, oh, they're lying. They're just doing this because they want some money. So that's why a lot of people victimize the victims too much to where they don't want to come forward. And I just hope that one day that changes. I just hope it changes one day because I hear it all the time. People make excuses for predators. Why didn't they say nothing 20 years ago? Why did they wait till now? Why didn't they? I mean, people are always making an excuse for the predator
Well,
and
that's not an excuse
victimizing
for the
the.
predator to ask why didn't they say
Not only
something
that, they're
before.
not understanding that some of those
Yeah, they're not okay. Yeah, not understanding. And it's okay to say why didn't you, but then to say they didn't do it because they lying.
Well, no, that yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to ask why didn't you? I mean, a lot of and it's the same thing. A lot of people feel shame. They feel guilt. They feel like it was their fault. If they who was that who told me I know somebody who told me they said if my daughter was to get assaulted because she went out with a guy, it was her fault. And I said, how was that her fault? She didn't know she was going to be assaulted. She said because she put herself in that situation. And I said, but she didn't know that
That's
she would be
stupid.
assaulted. And she said, well, she would have stayed home if she would have went somewhere else. If she was, I said, oh my God. I said, so you
That's a
telling me
stupid
that
parent.
if you meet somebody and y'all talking on the phone, y'all dating for a while, y'all going out, everything's all good. Months later, you decide, okay, let me invite him over. I'm gonna go to his house, watch movies, whatever, and they assault you. And she said, yes, it's her fault because she was there.
That's an ignorant
and
ass
she could
parent.
not have
And
been there.
if you watching,
We
if
just
you
agreed to
if you
disagree. But
watching
that's the
and you the
mentality.
one that
That's
said
the
that,
mentality
you
of
a
a lot of
ignorant
people,
ass
though.
person. And I'll tell you to your face in front of your grandma, you's an ignorant ass
I went
person
back
and
and
you
forth.
need your
Trust me.
ass beat for that thinking.
I went back and forth with that person, and we just agreed to disagree because they feel like
No.
people only get assaulted or attacked if they are somewhere where they shouldn't have been. Like, but how
That's
can you
stupid. That's
know
like standing
where?
there. That's like standing there in front of that same person that said that and punching them in the mouth and saying, "Well, you put yourself in position for me to hit you."
Well, I did ask them what if that happened to them. They said it would be my fault.
Oh my
So they
gosh.
still felt the same way, and I'm telling you, Carmen, I was the same way you was. I was like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. I was like, oh, girl, you should. I could not
Well,
believe
you's a
what I was hearing.
dumbass.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So I was like, we just gonna have to agree to disagree, and I just left it right there on the table because neither one of us was wavering, So, but I thought that was just horrible, and I still think it is. I'm like, never ever. If my son was going somewhere to his coach's house, and none of his coaches, as far as I know, at their schools ever did anything wrong, but I'm just using as an example. And they went to his coach's house because some of their coaches used to have these get-togethers all the time for the entire team, cookouts, whatever. And they would be at their cribs with all the other coaches. And if they were assaulted by their coach, and then I would come home and say, well, it was your fault. You shouldn't have went to your coach's house. That's exactly the same type of thing that could happen. And you can't say, well, you should have stayed home and not joined the rest of your team at your coach's house. I didn't understand it at all. And so I was like, in order to not argue with this person, because it was getting to that level, and it's somebody that I really care about, somebody that I know really well, I was like, let me just step away from this conversation.
Ignorance is often swift to speak.
One thing too, guys, is that what a lot of people are not understanding about this case is that the sex trafficking or sexual assault part of it is just a portion of it.
Yeah, we got the racketeering.
Yeah, but what about the fact that he knew he had an infectious disease?
Oh yeah, and he had
contagious
herpes. Like, this nigga had herpes
and
since 2006.
and he did not disclose it.
There's no
And he
excuse
did not
for that.
disclose it. And he did not wear a condom.
Never.
And he performed sex on adults and children.
And children.
And infected
Boys
some
and
of
girls.
them. And
Boys and
infected
girls.
some of them. Yes. With this disease, and it's a lifetime sentence with herpes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lifetime
like
sentence.
AIDS
Never
or HIV.
get rid of this. That's not
And
something
Sassy,
you can get rid of. So yeah.
And Sassy, you're right. That was a ridiculous argument. That's why I just was like, Sassy also said she can't even listen to Aaliyah's AJ number to number. I'm telling you, I can't either, honey. I can't either. And again, one day I might have a new reflection. And I might not have a new mindset. But right now, shit, I don't want nothing to do
So
with
they
him.
saying he did this to kids. How many kids did they list?
How many?
I just yeah.
Now we are talking about teenagers when we say kids.
Oh, okay.
Not we're not talking about under 12. We talking about 12 and up.
There was some 12-year-olds.
Aaliyah, that was just one of them. Girl,
I know that's when he met her when she was 12. I don't know when they started messing around.
He started having sex with her when she was 12.
I mean, I know that's when he met her. That's when her uncle introduced her.
For those of you who haven't been following, like really following as I have, he started having sex with her when she was 12. He got married to her when she was 15. But he had already been having sex with her for a long time. And he was actually having sex with her and like 5 of her friends. All of them. He was having sex with her and her background dancers. All at the same time. That's just.
And did they all know?
Yeah, they all knew. Yes, they all knew, honey. He had girl. He had girlfriends. Like when like that one time when he had sat down all his girlfriends and he said this is an Ask R. Kelly anytime anything session, and one of his girlfriends said, "Why did you marry Aaliyah?" And he said, "Because she got pregnant and her parents wouldn't legally sign the paper. He had to marry her." What's up, Sassy?
Hey
Mm.
girl, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing, boo?
I'm good. What's your co-host name? I can barely see the thing.
Oh, Carmel
Karma
Diva.
Diva,
Mhm.
Hey Carly, nice to meet you, huh?
nice to meet you also.
Okay, girl, we had interface issues, so I said let me sneak on here because I'm way into this conversation. Langston, well, Langston and I were talking about it when it first came down, and we're just talking about all the things. But that's yeah, my last comment. I'll tell you, I'll go back, but I'll tell you about the Aaliyah comment, but then I'll tell you how me and my family handled it. But
Okay.
the Aaliyah comment, because I'm an Aaliyah super fan, okay?
So was I.
Mm-hmm.
Super fan. And
Yeah.
can I come over? I literally would play it on repeat, like, I don't even know. It would take me like 3 months
That
to get
was a
over it,
jam.
That would
Mhm.
just, anyway. So, but then after surviving R. Kelly, it's like, no, this was in the midst when she was married to him, and she's literally, not figuratively, literally saying, age ain't nothing but a number. Going down ain't nothing but a thing. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, baby girl, that's not what that is. And we
Mm.
just jam into that song. The video is fire, and it's like they
Mhm.
are literally, and that's another thing that people that I haven't heard a lot of as of late, and rightfully so, because we're just trying to wrap all this stuff, up with R. Kelly in regards to him just getting sentenced. But initially, maybe in 2018, it was like he literally spelled out to us everything he was doing in song. That
He
was
did.
literally,
I said that. I've been saying that for years. That
hmm
he has told us
Mhm.
in all his songs what he wanted, what he was doing, and in
hmm
in that remix to "Bump and Grind," if you listen, he said 18 and older or 16 and under.
Mhm.
mm,
He literally says that on that song.
it's so
Nobody
many.
listened. He
Well, we
said
all
stuff.
listened. We all listened, but we also came from the age of like Luke and Master
Right.
P, and I
Yeah,
mean R and
yeah,
B. All the R&B people, even the people that we don't think are vile and vulgar, they told us, "I'm gonna lick you up and down. I want to," you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I mean, this is this is what we came from. We came from the expression, in music of truly, and that's what music is. Don't get me wrong, but we all
Yeah.
know that the 90s and the early 2000s
Hey,
was just an
cousin.
explicit expression of music and word. And so it wasn't that we weren't listening, it was that we were so enthralled by his talent
Right.
that we did not separate the two.
Mhm.
So,
And nobody would ever think that R. Kelly, because when you look at these super mega stars, you don't think that they got to resort to children. You just thinking, oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure he got all kind. I'll be like, oh, whoever woman he, I know
Now,
she loves.
to
That's just
play
what you
devil's
think.
advocate, I'm about to play devil's advocate. We can put all of this on him because he was the adult, but these girls, a lot of them
Mhm.
knew exactly what the hell they were doing.
well, then I
They
have
But
an
went
then
argument for
again,
that.
he's a
after
grown
him.
up. You
I
always got
have
to
a,
come back to he's a
I,
Like
grown
I
up.
said, he was the adult in the situation.
I
But
have an
these girls,
argument for
you
that.
know,
And see,
some of
that's
these
where I
girls
come.
is fast.
That's where I say the victim shaming again. You might
And
not
I
be trying to
That's
do
not
it.
victim shaming. That's being
Well,
honest. These
well,
girls was fast. Some of them.
I
well.
have an
You
argument
still
for
go
that.
ahead, Sassy. Go ahead,
I have an
Sassy.
argument for that because hood table, me and you on the same page. But those
Yeah,
people
I know.
people who are saying that like Karma Bunny, it is an argument. You know what I'm saying? It is an argument to say, oh, they fast and they this and that. Okay, cool. But you know what? If you're 15, 16, 17, and you are hot in the panties, as they say, and you've
Hmm.
been giving it up, but the problem does not come in with just consensual sex. The issue comes in with the abuse. The issue comes in when you're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
pee in my mouth. The issue comes in when you're trying to take me away from my family. The issue comes in
Defecate.
when you're forcing trains on me. The issue comes in when you're flying me across the country to sex traffic me. So if we could take away the so-called initial thought of a child's mind in thinking that they are consenting to sex, but then obviously are being turned into a sex slave, that's the reason why he got the time that he got, if I can be completely honest, and people are not tuning into
Thank
that.
you for mentioning that. And I want
That's
to
the
add, and then I want to let you speak again, but I want to add to the fact that I was one of those naive young girls who didn't know one way from the other, but I was hot in the ass. And most time I believed anything a man would say to me because I didn't have those parents raising me to say, look out for this, look out for him. Look, I just had this really religious mother who just said, don't
mm,
have sex or you're going to hell. Now,
mm.
a lot of people come, a lot of them kids came from situations where they're being abused and they came to him and he would allow them to console him and all that and promise nothing would happen to them and promise them this and that. Then he became a
Grooming
predator.
them.
But go ahead,
Straight
Sassy.
grooming. No, no, straight
He's
grooming. And thank
grooming
you for
them.
that because I
Go
did
ahead.
come from like more of a liberal type two-parent household where I mean I was a promiscuous.
Is
Well,
it my
I
sound?
became, I ain't even gonna lie, I became hot in the cock or hot in the ass, whatever they want to call it, after I was assaulted. Because I was under the impression everybody I knew back then was assaulted. My cousins, my friends, my neighbors, every girl that I knew was assaulted by either somebody in their family, a neighborhood person, somebody in school. It seemed like just the thing that was going on. So I was under the impression at a very young age that it's really not about relationships. It's just really about having sex. That's all it's really about.
See, I
And
wasn't like
that's
that.
what I
My
came
parents,
to
I I
learn.
wasn't hot in the ass like that. Hell, I didn't even have sex till after I graduated because I did not want to take the chance of getting pregnant.
Hmm.
But of course we all knew that. I mean, and that's why I said I'm playing devil's advocate because we all know them girls, the ones that dated older men, because we thought it was cool in
But you
high school
sometimes got to
to
look more
date an
into it. It's
older
just
man,
not.
a growner man. But I'm throwing it out there
I
because
know,
y'all
but what I
know it
want people to
happens.
know,
And
I
that's
want
what
people
it
to
was.
know. I just want people to know that it's always about being hot in the ass. That's not like the bottom line. That's not like that's why they were with him. That's not
I didn't say
it.
all of them. I said a lot of the girls
No,
were, but
I
some
just
of
want
them
people
were,
to
a lot of
know.
them were groomed.
Yeah, they were grown, and that's what I'm saying. If you the way people looked at him, he was like kind of like a, I don't want to say a sex god, but come on, the music, the
He was.
dancing,
I done
you
been
know
to
what
his
I mean?
Come
concerts.
on.
Yeah, he
I
was.
done been
He
to
Yeah.
two of
was
his
he was he
concerts.
was
So these girls being very naive, and that was just the thing to be into these guys who's humping on the ground and taking their clothes off on stage, and they call you backstage because they think you cute and hot, and sometimes you just think this is what, like how I grew up, this is what guys want after being assaulted at a young age. It's all about the sex,
and that's a
baby. You know what I mean?
that's a
That's how I
right. That's a
felt.
very good point. That's a very good point because I don't come from any type of sexual assault background,
I don't
but it's
either.
very clear to me that sexual assault victims become more promiscuous because it becomes something that is normalized at a young age. But another thing, I have to go, you guys, but I want you guys to talk about the sister. I don't think more.
Oh Lord.
Um, I don't think a lot
Yeah.
of people. I think that I think that a lot of attention should be placed on her. I think an investigation should be
But what
Mm-hmm.
opened up
about the
about her
mother
because
then,
if we
Sassy? If we
Mm-hmm.
gotta
no, but
give the
just the
sister,
mother
we
is
gotta.
dead. The mother is dead. HT. So
Oh
Yeah.
I mean, we
shit,
She
can't
that's
do
died in
right.
anything
Oh
right
my
now.
'93.
bad. Rest in peace, Kelly Mama. Oh, my bad. My
Joanne, she
Right.
bad.
I
died
mean,
in
she's dead. So
'93.
I'm just saying
She did.
she is culpable. I absolutely
Yeah.
agree. I don't think that she did
Yeah.
not know what was going on. But what I'm saying is that if because of what you just said, because of assault victims, and a lot of times with men, if when they are assaulted, they become the predator. So I wish that someone of some type of stature would look at the sister because I don't think that the what do you
Statute of
call it
limitation
when
is
you're
up.
The statute of
the
Statute.
statute of
limitations.
limitations has gone. Exactly, you guys. Thank you. I don't know, and I don't know, but I don't
It's
think that the
out.
statute of limitations goes out against child abuse or
Oh, I think there
Yes, it
should
do.
be one. Period,
molestation.
Sassy. I don't think there
Oh,
should
okay.
be a statute of limitation with that, Sassy. I really don't.
I didn't think there was, and I guess it is state to state, but it's definitely not on the federal level. So, but
Yeah,
I guess they just don't. They maybe if the none of the three brothers are going to speak about it, and none
yeah.
of the childhood friends and or the teachers are going to speak about it because they're much older now. There was that one music teacher that was in the documentary, but maybe she doesn't have hard evidence. But I
Well,
really wish that they would take.
remember his brother did speak on it on the documentary. He the one who told
Yeah,
us
his
about
brother
the
did.
sister and about the old
Uh-huh.
man in the neighborhood who
Yeah.
assaulted
Who
R.
paid his
Kelly.
mama
The
five
one who
thousand
his
dollars?
mama who bribed his mama $500 to not press charges.
She gave him
That
five
old man.
thousand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Gave him
So
$5,000
No,
so she
but
wouldn't
he
it
press
was
and
five
charges.
hundred. It was 500.
it
It's
was
a
500 because they didn't have
yeah. It was
5,000.
500.
That girl, he didn't have no 5,000 girl.
Yeah, it was
It was
500.
that was 40 years ago. He didn't have no 5 Gs, but he had 500 and she took it. But that's
Yeah,
why I knew that
and
I
she
knew that
took
the
it.
mother was complicit. Yeah, but however, that brother is in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So them taking a convict's word, and then R. Kelly did both of the brothers wrong. It would need to
No,
be
not
more
that brother.
people,
He
but
was a
I just
different
wish
brother.
that.
Huh?
Oh, it wasn't. I thought it was the brother that was in jail. Oh, it
Yeah,
was the brother that was out of
the
jail, and
brother
he
that
was.
It's the
was on
brother that's out.
it was the brother that was on the show, the one that was in jail.
No, the one that
I
was
thought
on
it
the
was the
show
brother.
wasn't
It
the
was two
one. It
brothers
was
on
the
the
younger
show.
one. It was
It
two
was
of them,
two.
but it's the
There's two
younger
brothers that was on
brother.
the show.
Okay, so the
This
one
kid.
Oh,
on the
okay.
show, the one on the show is
Mm-hmm.
the one who told us about the sister molesting the two of them and about the old man molesting R. Kelly. So the
Mm-hmm.
one on the
He's the
show,
one that's out. He's the one. His name is Kerry,
yeah,
and
Carrie, that's him. He the one who spilled the
He's the
tea.
one
Yeah.
that Kelly tried to pay to
Yep,
say it was him in
that's
that
right.
video.
And with the
And then the other
2008
brother, I
Yeah.
can't
video.
think of
Okay.
the other brother's name. I forgot the other brother's name. He's the one that's in jail.
Yep,
I think
that's
he out
true.
now, but yeah, he was the one that was in jail. But they
R. Kelly had
sister,
to try to pay his own brother to say that was him in that 2008 video with Sparkle's niece, and the brother said,
that was
"F
a 2002 video. Yeah,
Well, the 2008 trial. That's what I mean.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
he was like, "F you, nigga."
Right. He was like, I'm not. No, I'm not finna say I
But
did that with a kid. No.
anyway, Sassy, go ahead. I know you at work, so I want you to get your.
No, y'all,
Get
yeah,
your
I'm gonna jump
coins,
down back in the
girl.
chat
Get your
because I'm
coins.
deaf. Girl, baby, I don't have no choice. And it's Monday. Look, well, like I said, we do have these we have these interface issues. So I'm here like looking at the computer. I haven't gotten a DM that everything's cool yet. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, just about the Aaliyah thing, and then about the. I wish that someone would do a documentary on the sister, even if they can't charge her criminally. I really wish that someone would. I just put it out in the
Hmm.
universe. I want to complete the
Like,
sentence,
what does she
do
even
a
look like?
full
I don't even
documentary
know
on
what
the
she looks
sister.
like. And like, was she
Well,
molested?
you
And so
read
that's
into.
why she molested him.
Of
That's what we
course,
gotta
that
Because
whole
know.
that yes, no, of course. I mean, if we really probably did, if we or they probably really dug deep, the mom probably pimped her out or something. I mean, you could tell that it was. I mean, that
hmm
it was deep within, embedded within. You know what I mean? The generations. I mean, she's
Yeah,
literally
yeah, it was
accepting money for
ingrained in them.
somebody accosting her child.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
She's
now that you say
sending the
that,
other
she
children
literally.
out.
Yeah, since you say that, she did literally pimp out R. Kelly.
Donna, I'm
Yeah,
reading them. I'm
yeah.
reading them.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right, ladies, will continue to do a good job. I will jump down in the chat. I've been waiting for just, like a small, conversation about this that's not so, really, because it's so diabolical and everybody, all these what ifs and it's
It
racially.
is.
Yeah,
It
I'm not in
is.
yeah.
that. I'm not in that space anymore. I have done the research. I watched documentaries.
Same
My
here.
family has decided. Listen, on Christmas we can't play no R. Kelly no more. I'm sorry. You
Ain't
got
no
you
more
got to do that in your
stepping.
own
Ain't
house.
no more stepping.
Ain't no more stepping in the name of love, honey. That's just what it is because I cannot deny. And mainly it's because he's literally dialoguing and writing about the
And he
crimes that
doesn't
he was
care.
committing. So,
He doesn't
well, he
care.
can't but he is a victim himself. So he made,
Yeah.
I keep saying I'm gonna leave. Let me leave you with this. One of the culture. I watch a lot of different cultural shows. And
Mm-hmm.
in that they may be Americans, but they have their own little, niche, or live in their own little
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
like a Hasidic Jew or like the Mormons or whatever. But like the gypsies believe in
I was
grooming
gonna
their
say
kids, and like,
yes.
you know,
And they get
I
married like
mean,
at 10 years old. They have marriage rituals at like 10 years
well,
old to
they
other
have
family
marriage
members.
rituals. Yeah, they have marriage rituals, but they do have to remain a virgin until they're 18. But the so-called, but the thought
Mhm.
of it is that as soon as you get your cycle, you have now become a woman. So then you have to start acting like a woman. That's why you see them. Most of gypsies, if you go into gypsy communities, they're into all of those John Benet Ramsey type pageantries. They are grooming the women to be wives. That's the only thing they want to groom them for. So they teach them how to cook, clean, how to look sexy, how to work out. And this is 13, 14, 15 years old. So some of these people, there is a larger community than we know about that actually do not have an issue because they feel like it's biblical. So I don't
Hmm.
know if that's where, R. Kelly or his sister or anybody what they think about, because it's taboo to talk about it. But I would be curious to see if they have something like that, because he was so cavalier about it, because we really wouldn't even been talking about him if he just would have sat his ass down somewhere.
Right, but he was
But he
doing
was
too
so
much.
cavalier.
Like Brother Jay
He
said,
was
he
so
was
Hmm.
doing too
cavalier.
much.
Too much.
He couldn't
And,
find
and
one
so
victim or two victims. He had to have all the victims.
Yeah, it's like an OJ. You get away with murder, and then you go. You're so cavalier and so lacking in humility that you go and do another dumb crime and get yourself 30 years. Some people are just
Right.
lacking in that humility because they've never had to have it. And if you really ask them the truth, if they were free of judgment, they would tell you the truth. And so I wonder if
Oh
Kelly,
yeah.
because I know he needs some money on his books, right? So I wonder if there's going to be that one person that he tells to all, the tell all. Because I know if it
Oh
was me and I knew
man,
I was going to spend the rest of my life, I would
if
just
he
tell
write a
all,
tell-all
tell it
book,
all.
Right.
I'm telling you, I'll be the first person. That'd be the first thing I buy from his ass is a tell-all book. But you know what, Sassy?
Well,
When
we
it
Girl,
know
comes
he
to
ain't gonna be the
that
one to
thing would be
write
so
it.
hot.
when it
You
comes
know
to
what? I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
well, I'll buy it. I'll buy it out let other people read if they don't want to invest in them. But I'm gonna get that book. But
Look,
when it
if it's
comes
as
to
bad as Fantasia's book was, oh dear Jesus.
I know. But when it
It
comes
was
to
like,
the
did she have an
molestation,
editor?
when it comes to the molestation in the families, a lot of times from my experience and around the people I grew up with, family, friends, and others, is usually the parent was molested, their parent was
Mhm.
molested. It goes on and
Mhm.
on and on. So when
It's
it gets to like
generational.
the
Generational.
70s, when it got to like the 70s and 80s, they were still into that mentality where we just gonna sweep it under the rug because this is shit happens. Like my mother, I done told y'all before. My mother told me why break up with a man because all men cheat. When I used to break up with niggas because they cheated on me, I don't know what you broke up for him for. He got a job, he buy you this, he paid the bills, da 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 da. But he cheated on you. Oh well, every man cheats, and that's what my
Mm-mm.
mother used to
Yeah.
tell me.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's very interesting. Listen, if my dad cheated, he was a hell of a cheater, because I mean, he was home every night. I knew exactly where he was. At least until I went to college, right? So from 0 to 18. However, I still not grew up, but as I become an adult, especially when I was, talking about how I value men, I thought they all cheated. You know what I mean? I mean, I know we're kind of getting off subject, but I just thought that's just kind of the norm. They have too many options. You know what I mean? And then now, probably in the last maybe 3 to 4 years of dating, I'm like, no, they don't all cheat, but such a large percentage
Mm-mm.
of them cheat that it can make you think it's all right.
right,
So,
Right.
but for your mother to tell you that, see,
girl?
my
Like
mother
I
couldn't
told you,
tell
I
me
grew up on
that.
a really strict
Right, right,
Christian.
No.
right, very hard.
I
All right, ladies, thank you so much for letting me bum rush the panel.
Girl, you
All
know
right,
you
oh
I'll
was
see
welcome
no.
you.
over here.
Thanks for
And
coming
tell our boy
on.
Langston we said what's up.
I will. All right, ladies, thank you again. I'll see you in the streets, hood table.
All right, baby.
All right,
Oh, is
thank
that
you.
sister on the panel?
Yes, that's Miss
Uh-huh.
Sislo. That's Miss Sislo, not sister.
Hey,
That's Miss Sislo.
sister.
Hey, sweetie, I'm still here. I have
Hey,
to
girl.
my mic. Hey, baby girl, my mic is muted because my grandkids and my son are loud
Okay,
in
I
the
just
back
looked.
seat.
I wasn't even looking at the phone. Hey,
So
girl. All right, I see
I
both of
didn't
y'all in the
want.
streets. Bye.
Bye,
Yeah, well,
babe.
Bye
I'm not gonna
bye.
be in the streets for longer, but
Well, let
yeah,
me let
it,
me let me get to Miss Sislo real quick. I just want to get to the comments in the chat because we've been overlooking some comments, but I just want to read a few
I can
okay.
comments
So
and
let
read
me
them.
mute myself.
let you.
Can
I
you
mean, I've been seeing
mute
them,
me
but we
for
were
me?
talking, so I wasn't reading them because the conversation was going on. But I just want to read some
Mute
of
my
the
mic.
comments. I got you, Sislo. Donna said these girls were young; they didn't know better. They were manipulated. R. Kelly is an adult, so all fault is on him. They thought they were special. He loved them. Something they probably wasn't getting at home. Well, I know a few of them did say stuff like that, or they was victims of molestation inside their home. That is what predators choice as victims. And yes, predators they prey on victims, people who are already victims, and they re-victimize them. Some sexual assault
Donna,
victims.
yes, they will.
hmm Some sexual assault victims, not all the time, become hot in the pants. They dress fully clothed, overweight, don't want any man to find them appealing in a sexual way. Was that why I became a tomboy? Hmm.
A lot
Anywho.
of, and that's if you watch like My 600 Pound Life, that's
hmm
what a lot of them say. They were molested and they
Oh
ate so
yeah.
that nobody would look at them and find them attractive or appealing,
Well, I
and that's what they
know
did.
in my own personal experience, my mother, she she wouldn't let me wear like certain things, like couldn't wear short shorts, couldn't wear short skirts. I couldn't wear a bathing suit. That's why I never learned how to swim. It was just I had to be like fully dressed and all this, and I think that's why I ended up being like a tomboy, dressing like a
Shit.
boy. But
I mean, not that my parents would just let me run wild, but I pretty much wore whatever the hell I wanted. But that was because my family had already showed me how to be a lady, how to be a respectful woman. You
yeah,
can still be sexy and be fully clothed. It's about you, your feelings, your how you present yourself, your character,
mhm.
not necessarily what you have on.
Well,
And
in
that's
high school,
what I'm
I don't
teaching
think
my kids.
no girl should be running around looking sexy. Not in high school. And I think that's a problem that excuse me, a lot of these newer parents, these younger parents are starting off when their kids is like 4 or 5. Like
Mm-mm.
how many times you see little kids running around before like the age of 8 or 9 with long extensions in their hair, long
I don't
braids in
like
their
that.
hair, long like this little girl barely 40 pounds got 80 pounds of hair on her head.
I
And
don't
they
like
be
that.
dressing like
Now, I
little
will say
bitty
this:
skirts,
when
little
my daughter
short.
was younger, she had a complex about her hair because all the little girls, like in her classroom and at daycare, they all had very long hair, and her
Mhm,
hair was not long. Now, her hair is thick as I don't know what, but it just wasn't long. And
mhm,
so I would get braids, but they were always at the longest, like shoulder length. They were never longer than that because, like I told her, you're still a little girl and you're going to act and dress and behave as a little girl,
mhm.
period. Um, Now, sometimes now you talking about little girls doing all the pageantry and stuff like that. Like, Denavia always loved makeup. Oh my gosh, always. So,
Mhm.
like, I remember one time, I think it was like Father's Day, and we went out to eat at Joe Test. And my baby came in. She dressed up for her papa. She had on her cute little dress, and I remember she had on some little white kitten heels,
Mhm.
and she put lipstick on. Her papa was like, "Oh shoot, I'm gonna go on a date with you. Forget everybody else." But so yeah, every now and then I would let her go out and wear lipstick. It wasn't no everyday thing. It was not a no. That was not hell no. But I just had to explain that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And Melissa, thank you, Melissa. She sent me something from the source from 2020 that said R. Kelly's mother, in fact, did receive $5,000. Now I didn't heard
Hmm.
500 and I didn't heard 5,000, but
I had heard five
$5,
thousand.
$5 is too much for me. But yeah,
Mm.
she said the source, and that was from the source, $5,000. But I still believe that and along with his sister and who knows whatever else might have happened to him as a young child. Like a lot of
Right.
people always think girls is the only one. I mean, they know girls ain't the only one to get abused, but I done heard stories of the same particular boy being abused by the uncles, the brothers, the fathers, the stepdad, the grandpa. I mean,
Mm.
like I was watching this movie, not this movie, but I was watching a documentary the other day on men in jail who are gay. And this one particular man said he was a victim when he was younger because everybody noticed the femininity in him at a very, very young age and took advantage of that. And so he
Mm.
was basically like passed around. Like, and he was
Mm.
so young, he didn't even
He didn't
like,
know no better, no different.
and it's sad because when I say that my mom, rest in peace, I love her. I love her. But when I say she never gave me any sex education class, and then on top of that, she also would not sign for me to be in the human growth and development class in school. It was like she wanted to keep sex out of my brain, like, period. She didn't even talk to me about STDs, condoms, how to do this, what not to do, nothing like
See,
that. It
my
was
mom
always don't
didn't, but
have sex before
my mom didn't,
marriage.
but my bonus
And
mom
that's
did. My
it.
stepmom did. She, oh honey, she would break it down.
Right.
And
But a lot of people
I
don't
remember
go
one
through
time
that.
I remember one time I got offended, but now as an adult with kids, I get where she was coming from because she was
Mhm.
like, only reason a man will be with you is to have sex with you. And I took it the wrong way. Like, he ain't
Oh,
gonna
I heard
want
that a
me and
lot
this
when I
and that.
was younger. I heard that a
A-
lot when I was
And
younger.
And so I had took it the wrong way. I did. I took it to heart. I was like, well, damn, I got,
But
I'm funny. I'm cute.
most parents
But
tell their girls that anyway, especially the fathers, because they know what men can do, what they
but
can
see, my
say,
daddy,
how hard they will try to get between your legs, and they will tell you anything most of the time.
now my daddy grew up. He was one of the original 24th Street hustlers. Trust and believe. Ask anybody about him. They would know my daddy. But that was something that he did teach me and my sister. Besides I mean, like I said, I tell people all the time. I had mostly male cousins, and we were raised like they were my brothers. And my uncles, a couple of them are like at the most 10 to 12 years older than me, so they not a whole big. So we all kind of grew up together. So watching them game women, and then they telling us the shit that they did, they be like, hey, don't let no dude do this, blah, 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 blah. So I learned from them. They taught me.
Mhm.
And the funny part is, I have literally had men tell me, you act just like a dude. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like one dude, I ain't gonna lie, we had sex. I got up. I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm about to leave. He was like, damn, can we cuddle? Can you sit and talk for a minute? For what? I got what I needed. I'm
Mhm.
gone now. What we need to talk for? That should have came beforehand.
Mhm. Well, shout out, kudos to your parents because that ain't how it is for the majority of people, especially in the hood. It's not. Most people come from a single household. Most time, their parents is always out there working. They don't spend that quality time with their kid, or they done been through one of those families where they've been traumatized as a child, and their parents been traumatized as a child, and it just keeps going on and on and on to different generations. And that is how a lot of people, when they are young, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, they end up making their own decisions, end up making their own decisions. And yeah, you got a
Well, see,
parent
I
at
guess
home
I'm blessed. I mean, I guess I'm just blessed then, because even though my parents split when I was 3, I mean, my daddy has always been in the picture. There's never been a time he has not been there.
and
And Hell, my bonus mom, my stepmom, she's been a part of my life since I was 5. So I've always had my parents, and they've always, I've always been in that loving environment.
I don't know why
Even
people keep jumping on and off.
I don't
But
know.
see, that's why I said kudos to your parents. Everybody don't have that type of
Yeah,
stability when they're growing up. So as far as the ones who don't, like this is some of the things that they go through. The same type of things that some of R. Kelly's victims went through are the same type of things that I'm familiar with, and I know a lot of people around me are familiar with, and that is not having that support that you need at home as a young teenager, especially a girl, 11, 12, 13. I mean, even Aaliyah, look at who her parents were. Look at who her
yeah,
uncle were. I mean, look at who her family was, period. And she still was naive and gullible enough to start having sex with R. Kelly at 12.
yeah.
What we gonna say? Where was her parents? I mean, a lot of these situations, it's just the person, the child, they naive, they young, they think that this is what they should be doing for this man to like them, for this man to want to be with them. That's just how it is. And it I don't think it'll ever change. Ain't nothing new under the sun. It's been like that
Bro,
since
ain't nothing new.
before I was born. It's been like that when I was born. It's been like that this decade. I see it all the time. Kids out there pregnant, pregnant in high school. Where the daddy at? He ain't
Mm,
nowhere to be
mm,
found.
mm.
Most likely they had sex one time, and or he told her what he needed to get in her drawers, and then he bounced on her ass.
See,
We see
I've been
it all the
talking.
time.
The thing is
And
with
they
my
might
kids,
have great
I've been
parents.
doing good touch, bad touch with my kids since they could understand what the hell I was saying. So about 2, 3 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
then when they hit about
Hey,
8
Polo.
is when I started doing stuff with them and telling them about sex, telling them about how their body is changing. Was it a cringe moment? Hell yeah. But I had to say to myself, you know what? That was at the time I was still working when I told my son. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a damn nurse and I talk to other people's kids
Right.
about sex and about their body and everything else. I'm gonna have to break it down for my kids. And my son was like, "You got so clinical." That boy curled up in a ball at the bottom of my bed.
Well, I mean, I did
But
that with my
I
children
wanted
too.
them to have the correct information, and I wanted them to, because, like I said, a lot of times, think about it. Your friends are stupid. Your
Mhm.
friends are stupid when you're young. So I wanted them to know exactly what it is that's going on with your body. Why is it going on with your body? This is what your body is supposed to do. And I mean, yeah, they still
But
be
that
like,
don't
oh my
always
God.
stop your kids from going out there having sex.
No,
Just because
but
you
I
sit
want,
down and talk to them about their body and good touch, bad touch, that doesn't
no,
necessarily
I
mean
talk to
that
them about sex.
some
I
older
talk to them
person.
about rape. I
Yeah,
talk to
that's
them
what I
about
mean.
assault
But
and
what
all of
I'm
that.
saying is that does not talking to our kids don't keep them from killing anybody. It don't keep them from raping anybody. It don't keep them from
No,
being raped. It don't keep
of
them from
course
not
not.
having sex.
But it gives them
But
the
it
information.
gives
They
them
have the
like you
knowledge.
might get them the information, but when you dealing with a real true predator who is into grooming young kids, all that shit sometimes goes out the door. All that shit goes out the door sometimes. And I'm only saying this and stressing this to say that a lot of people who are victims of child abuse or sex crimes, sometimes they know right from wrong. Sometimes they know they shouldn't be having sex. But sometimes they feel like they don't
Yeah.
have a choice. And sometimes on the flip side, they have had no training. So sometimes it don't matter if you've been trained by your parents or not, if you took a sex ed in class,
Well, yeah.
whatever.
If
Sometimes it
it's
don't
a
matter. The
sexual
same
deviant,
people
if
from
it's
different
a predator is going to do what a predator does. They prey.
right, right,
But
right. Which
if
is
you
like
can
the R.
sit
Kelly.
here and try to teach it just the way they groom kids, if you teach your kids the way they groom kids, that'll give them the knowledge, they can kind of see it and try to separate themselves if at all possible. That's all I'm saying. They can separate themselves. They can see the signs and they say, okay, mama
Yep.
told me about this. Let me start moving stage left. Get away from this.
But
So
keep in mind,
that's if
women
at
on
all
both sides of
possible.
the track, girls from both sides of the track can both end up in the same situation. No
Oh
matter
yeah.
who their parents are, no matter if you teach your kids, if you sit down with your kids all day long and teach them about sex. I mean,
Yeah.
in the end, sometimes that just ain't enough. And it's sometimes not enough depending on who they are approached by. They could be approached by this person, they looking at them like, whatever, nigga. They could be approached by R. Kelly and be like, "Oh shit, he likes me." I mean, they could like seriously. Like a lot of people are trained by their parents and still get assaulted and raped and kidnapped and killed. And then the same thing goes for
Well,
people
yeah. That I
who
mean,
might not have been
that's just life.
just sat down with their parents. But in the R. Kelly situation, we talking about these girls who a lot of them were naive and a lot of them were underage. A lot of them came from bad parenting, bad households, sexual assault, poverty, all kind of shit. And he would promise them the world. He groomed a lot
A
of these.
lot of these.
He even groomed the boys. He even groomed the boys.
He groomed their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, you know,
He might
and that's the thing.
hold on, Miss Lisa, you got an echo.
Do
I'm gonna mute you because you we playing in two different or something going on. You got an
Yeah.
echo. But it's a bad echo too. But
Yeah.
is that better?
No.
No, not really.
I don't know if I want to call it grooming, but like a lot of the parents, like for instance, Aaliyah's parents, for instance, Sparkle's niece's parents. I don't know if I want to call it grooming, but some people were just simply paid off for their silence.
Like Jocelyn Savage.
Which is pimping to me.
Her parents pimped her. Her and Azriel Cleary. They them parents pimped them girls.
I don't believe that.
And you can't tell them, oh, I believe it.
They never got
Who didn't? That's what they say.
Or Azriel.
That's what they say. No, I'm saying they parents pimped them.
That's what I'm saying. They never got any money.
Shit, them savages got some money.
They didn't get no money from R. Kelly. R. Kelly, where he coming up with some money around that time? This was a few years ago. That nigga ain't got no money.
I know.
He couldn't even pay for his house anymore. He couldn't even afford his home anymore. He couldn't pay child support anymore. He wasn't paying no families off a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Ain't no way. When he went to court,
Kelly had money.
To pay for his own
Kelly had money. He had money. He had money. I just seen this about maybe 6 months ago that they found he had accounts like hidden in other people's names and shit. He
I'm
had
sure that
money.
would have came out in court.
Hey.
He could. They convinced the judge that he didn't have enough money to pay for his own transcripts. So if he got all this shit and it didn't came out in the public, I'm sure that would have came out in court that he really had money. I don't think he has any money. I honestly don't.
He may not now, but they did. They found some accounts. I'm telling you what I saw.
I don't know because again in 2000, before he got put out that before he got arrested, his penthouse, he wasn't even able to pay for that penthouse. That's why once he got arrested, the girls left. Because they couldn't nobody pay the bills there. He didn't even have money to pay for his penthouse, let alone his mansion in Chicago. So I don't know. Maybe
what the hell he do with all that money?
Paying people off. That's what I am under the impression of. I really think all these years, starting way back with Aaliyah, he's been paying people off. And then remember, he lost that $200,000 lawsuit. Remember?
No.
The one where he gave the girl the herpes. Well, okay, he gave.
I'm like, you're gonna have to specify. You might need to be a little bit clearer on that one there. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Oh, I didn't realize what I said until after it came out of my
mouth. It might be more than one on that one.
The lady, that's funny.
Just saying.
Yeah, she
pass the herpes on the left hand side. Pass the herpes on the left hand. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Girl. Okay, it was $250,000. Her name was Tiffany Hawkins. And
No,
in
she was on there.
1996, that was Tiffany Hawkins. That was the one who claimed personal injuries and emotional stress. She had a 3-year relationship with him. They started to have sex in 91. She was 15. He was 24. Their relationship ended when she was around 18, and she sought $10 million in damages for him giving her herpes, and she only won $250,000. But still,
Tell her go use some Abriva. She'll be all right. Get some
10 million,
Campho-Phenique.
250,000. She got
Okay, you
stuff
still
out of it. But
you
that was
$250,000 richer than you were.
right. So that was in 96 when she won 250,000. So yeah, people been
she won that then?
Yeah. People been suing him for years.
No, wait a minute. Okay. So if that was in 96, now what you said earlier.
96 she sued him. She met him in 91. They had
okay, but what I'm saying,
years. And then in 96 she sued him. In 98
right.
he was settled out of court for 250.
Okay.
98.
But what you said was you said he knew he had herpes since 2006. So how could she sue him in 96 if he didn't find out till 2006?
You know what? Maybe that's the wrong chick for the herpes. This one just claimed personal injuries and emotional distress. So maybe she's not the one who sued him for the herpes. Hold on, let me see. Let me check.
I'm just trying to get my facts together.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
You're right. So I think I'm bringing you the wrong chick. There's so many.
Look at it. You misleading me and shit.
There's so many. Okay, now
I needed this distraction.
Okay, see, the thing we have to keep in mind, she did sue him for personal injuries, but the thing we have to keep in mind is he wasn't diagnosed until 2006. That don't mean that was the first time that he knew he had herpes. Yeah. That was the first time he sought medical attention. So that's another thing that we have to look at. So I don't know. I do.
But I'm saying, how could she pinpoint it was him? How did she pinpoint it was him? And he not know it. No, I'm saying
maybe again that was the only person she had sex. I don't know. Most of the women who had sex with him, they stayed with him. They lived with him. They couldn't even leave the house. So, and then that takes me back to that was like 91. Now, when did him and his wife separate?
Get together till 2006. I mean, they got together in 96, and they divorced in like 2009.
2009. So she was still married to him when he was when he got acquitted in 08.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
I think they were separated though.
It's just crazy how some of these witnesses said that wife was in the
Thank
house.
you, Donna. You have a blessed night too. Thank you for being in the chat and for asking wonderful questions and having some great commentary. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. But there was a lot of the witnesses said that she was in the house.
I keep telling you she was not a victim. She was a damn volunteer.
I'm saying she was both.
I'm saying she a volunteer because
I'm saying she was a victim too. Because I think he probably put his hands on. I really do think he's a very abusive person.
He might have, but my thing is this: well, I ain't gonna go down that argument, but I have heard this is my reasoning for thinking Andrea, Drea, whatever the hell her name is, Andy. This is the reason Andy. This is why I think Andy is a volunteer. So all of this shit happens while you're married to him. At the time when that tape came out in 2002, they only had 2 kids. She had another one like a year later. She had a third one like a year later. So you stayed with him knowing that he did this. I've heard from some of the ladies, I'm trying to remember, it's been so many videos I don't watch, but that she participated in plenty of the acts with the ladies and him.
I think so. I really do.
Um, so
Allegedly.
when did yeah, and all this time she was on like R&B divas. She was yes, she married that Brian dude, and he was like, "I'm the king of R&B." She was like, "No, baby, there's only one king of R&B, and his name is Robert Kelly. Okay,
I
you
remember
gonna tell
that.
your new husband that?" She running around on red carpets telling people to buy his music, buy his CD, buy my baby daddy CD. This it's like, okay,
That was
you
funny though.
all
I remember when she was in the
you
car and she had his music playing and she was
yes.
screaming. She was
She
screaming
talking
out the
about,
window, support
and
my
then talking
baby
about
daddy.
right, and then talking about we still family no matter what go on. We
Yeah.
still family. This
Uh-huh.
is after she done went on the damn surviving R. Kelly. You riding around bumping his music, talking about we still family, and I'm still gonna ride for him at the end of the day. But then you go on this hobo tour talking about, oh, he hog tied me and he did. Why did the hobo tour not start until after the check stopped?
I think
The check stopped. And listen, no, I'm telling you, when he stopped paying that child support, that's when she got pissed and she became a victim then. Then she started going around because she never said a word about him being about bad, nothing bad about him. She never said a word about him being abusive. All the platforms she done been on that she could have said something, she never said a word. And then when the money ran out, oh, I was a victim too.
I think it was the
Bitch,
same situation. I'm not saying she wasn't a victim. I do believe that she was. But I do believe also, like some of the other people, there was money involved. She was being taken care of. Things were provided for
mm-hmm,
her. But I think once she realized all these other women, because and another thing, I do believe that from the gate, I believe she had to sign an NDA from the gate. From the first time they start dating, exchange phone numbers. He makes
probably.
everybody from the gate has to sign an NDA who hangs around him. So I think that probably played a part in it. And then on top of that, her seeing all these other women be brave and be vocal and finally decide that they have to speak out, they have to say something, they have to convince the world who we have all thought of all these years of who he really was. So I think
She
I
had to
think
come
that I
out and
think that
she had to
has something
come
to do
out and
with
say
it.
something because the other women was coming out and people were going to question, where were you at? Why didn't you say anything? Why
But they
didn't you
still
stop
could do that.
anything?
They still could do that, whether she came out or not.
No,
And
I'm
I wonder
saying
why nobody has actually.
because she's playing the victim card. She was a victim too, so nobody's questioning. I question it. Bitch, how you live in the same house and you ain't seen, heard, smelled nothing?
Yeah,
Nothing
I
at
believe
all.
she knew what was going on, but I'm just not saying that she was not
The
a victim.
nutritionist, when they
She
first, that
was.
nutritionist first came out, she said no, she wasn't like stuck in her room. She would go get her hair done, nails done, go shopping. She said there were times when I needed money for, to buy food for the house. She would open her wallet full of credit cards, stacks of hundreds in there, and give me $200-300 to go grocery shopping right off the bat. So she was like, I don't know if he did that on the weekends when I wasn't there, but when I was there, she was free.
Yeah, I still
So,
think she was a victim though. So that area we just gonna have to agree to disagree on because you can still be a victim and still allow somebody to take care of you and still stay there. It happens every day. But I still think she was a victim. Now, whether she came out because she thinks that these ladies or somebody else is gonna point fingers at her for having
yep.
beef with something, they would have to do that to about 100 other people. His entire
Well, yeah, of
entourage.
course,
Like
because
they
I've
so
said that too. I said, first of all, anybody that helped him needs to be charged the same thing as he is because they're just as culpable as he is. And as far as her, that's another thing. Think about it. When these women start coming out and they started handing out them indictments, them charges, think who became a victim? Exactly. Look at the timing, because I've been looking at this shit with her anyway. I've been
Okay.
watching the timing, and she real slick about it. She real slick. But you
Okay.
can't
Well,
slick a
I
can
still
of
believe
oil,
that
though.
she was a victim as well, but it's okay. Agree to disagree. No problem. But now as far as the time, how much time do you think he gonna get? Life?
Oh yeah, they ain't letting his black ass out.
And let's not forget that he's still facing
He gonna be
charges.
trapped in the closet. Closet.
But keep in mind that he's still gonna be facing charges in Chicago
And Minnesota.
and
Yeah.
Minnesota. So I
But
really think that he is never
but
getting
the federal
out.
charges is gonna trump everything else.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, they gonna Trump, and maybe he might plead to the other ones. You think?
no.
Since the federal
He sh-
charges are
he
already,
should, but he ain't gonna do. This brother ain't that smart, y'all. Come on. I mean, he
or
was
maybe
smart.
tell his story, like tell the whole story. Like, let's hear from you. Why you like Sassy was saying, why did you do it? Why did you start out? Who was your first with? Da, 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 da. I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah,
would
I
really
would
love
like
for
to
him
hear
to be
a whole
honest.
tell all. Yeah,
Just be honest. That's what I would love to hear, because these federal charges ain't going nowhere.
girl.
And not the
It's
other
hard to
one.
beat a it's hard to beat a federal case. It is. It's hard. And the thing is, yeah, yes, he is guilty. But but I'm about to throw this out there.
But
He is still a black man in the United States of America. They
okay.
will and they will railroad people, and they will make evidence stick to you.
Oh, Sassy, we still talking about R. Kelly. Now we talking about, do we think if he'll take a plea for the charges that he have in Chicago and Minnesota, since he's already been convicted of federal charges? Or will he go through another whole trial and have, us pay for another whole trial just to
Right.
already know that he's most likely guilty of everything too? She
Like, just
said
say
he
you
should.
did it, though.
He better. She said he better.
Just say you did it.
She said he better.
Right. 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 Shit. Come on, dude. Come. I mean, just tell us.
Just
Save us
tell
some
us the
time, some
story.
money. Right.
Tell me
Look.
why you thought wasn't nothing wrong. Tell me why you thought age ain't nothing but a number. Tell me why. I want to hear it all. I want to
Look.
hear
Hold on. Look. Be sitting there like this. I'm so.
it. Girl,
I
come on.
really want to hear about your. I really want to hear about your story.
Girl,
Tell me your story.
I'm going to be tuned in with my drink. Girl, my eyes going to be on the. Girl. All on, we gonna have no karma. We gonna have to have a viewing party. What do you call it? A
Oh
watching party?
God.
A
A watch party.
watch party?
You know what? You know what we need to do? I'm gonna go a little bit off topic here for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I need a distraction.
Okay.
So we need to go ahead and have our celebration that we've been putting off.
Oh yeah. I
We need
forgot all about it because we didn't put it off so long.
but
I'm serious. I'm looking out.
I'll call you afterwards and tell you. Oh God, but I
Yes,
need a
we need to
distraction.
do that. But I want to be together.
Okay.
I want to be like in the same spot.
Okay.
All right. Like, okay.
You show me your test, I'll show you mine.
Okay. All right. Wait a minute. Show you what? Show you my what?
I said, you show me your test and I'll show you mine.
Girl, I thought you said something else. I was,
You thought I said chest, girl. I got
you
titties of
know,
my
I'm a
own.
virgin. You know.
Yeah. You
Who
forget. Hold on, wait a
cried?
minute.
Hey, I'm a born
Look,
again. Born again.
you forget that I was there a lot of time when the parties ended.
Okay. Next subject. Next. Hold on. Hey, we talking about R. Kelly? How get put on the damn stand?
Ooh,
Where that Bible
ooh,
at? I plead
ooh.
the fifth. Hold on, remote control.
That's what we should play. Remember that game? No. Remember that game we used to play, Hot Seat? We used to play that in.
Oh,
We should play that on here.
you know what? That would be so fun.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Okay, yeah, we need to talk.
And you only
Nancy,
get so many passes.
now we talk. And by the way, we were supposed to celebrate at 1 million views. We now at 1,049,755.
Hi, praise Jesus.
We almost at 1,100,000. But yeah, that'll be good, honey. That'll be great. Hold on, Sassy said, hold on, wait a minute. See, she trying to look at my clothes. What's up, mind your own damn business, aka bro?
Uh-oh.
What the hell going on? I hear y'all been talking about Robert.
Uh-oh.
Sassy. Yeah, we was talking about him for a little bit. We said a little something.
I just happened to tune in.
I heard another conversation that's like kind of like a Friday night conversation. I want to elaborate on that conversation.
Right. Get her.
That's for a whole nother show.
Get her.
That's the Friday Night Live show, huh?
That's for the Friday Night Live show, honey. Thank you, Tiana. Thank you, Sassy.
Get her.
See, that's for our all females. That's for our all females platform. See, y'all playing with me.
Yeah,
we do need to have that.
Damn time.
But back to Robert, what you want to add about? What you want to talk about Sylvester? What you got to say about Sylvester?
I don't give a damn. Like I said, and I'll say it again. I'll stick to my guns. Whatever he's guilty, honestly, the shit that he did do, yes, he deserves whatever punishment comes with that. But all that, what they talk about, he the head ringleader and all that. Yeah.
No.
Come on, man. Like,
I feel like he's guilty of some of it, but not all of it.
I don't know.
Right.
He's guilty. He's guilty regardless of the accusations or whatever of the underage. Okay, he got to pay for that. Don't mean he have to pay the rest of his damn life behind bars or something like that. Look, let me tell you this. Because I don't give nobody no pass on sexually violating nobody, male or female, period, living or dead. So whatever he did, yes, he's just due punishment for that. That no doubt. But the character assassination that they're doing to that right there is a person. That's like a vendetta. Like, I told you I was gonna get your ass.
And see, and I told Tanya Tanya, tell you, I've been saying I had already said from the moment they announced he was going to trial, I said they're going to. Thank you. I said exactly that.
I mean, were they wrong?
I said
no.
Where's the lie though? Where's the lie? That's what I don't
know. It's not about his character. It's about the facts. It's about the facts that they can present and prove.
Don't add on.
He was trafficking. Sex trafficking.
And my thing is this: as far as all of that, like that girl, like everybody keep bringing up Aaliyah and the girl in the video. Yeah. He was already tried for those. So shouldn't Double Jeopardy come into play because he got off on them? So why are they being admitted
for those though? So how you
so why did they bring? But did they bring up? Did they bring up that information in the?
He's not being charged for any of that.
But the
they bringing in. They bringing in prior acts
in the trial though. They brought up Aaliyah in the trial. They didn't bring up the 2008.
And honestly, I feel like that's what convicted it. was the Aaliyah situation. That is what convicted that man, because they couldn't get him back then. It was always suspect, but they got him now. And if that girl was actually pregnant,
but he wasn't even being charged for that though. And as far as 2008, where he was acquitted, that didn't get brought up in the trial.
But knowing
that because of double jeopardy, they couldn't bring up in the trial.
Like, they talk so much about goddamn Aaliyah. I saw Aaliyah, and this is more funny how
they had to.
They were dropping her shit. They was getting ready to drop her anniversary.
They had to talk about Aaliyah though. I mean, she was like one of the.
They didn't have to.
If this case was based on these females here that were in the documentary, then Aaliyah shouldn't have had anything to do with it.
A lot of the witnesses were not even pressing charges. They were just there to speak on the abuse and speak on the assault. The same way with Aaliyah. A lot of those witnesses were just there to speak on it. It's a trial. So of course they're gonna have all these people who know of his character. It's a character witness. That's what it is. It's a character witness.
An article saying something about that with Aaliyah's uncle was basically saying that her parents knew what was going on.
Yep. He was on Dr. Oz. He was on Dr. Oz and said that.
Now, like, come on.
And that's why they couldn't speak in court.
You can't sit there and crucify this man when a parent is knowingly and willingly
participating. Yes.
But that's not y'all missing the point. It has nothing to do with that. It's a character witness. Like,
and the only reason Barry came out is because it came out that he was the one that introduced Aaliyah to R. Kelly. So that's the only reason he came forward.
If you were beaten
up, because why would you throw your sister under the bus?
If you were beaten up, and this same person who beat you up beat up 50 other kids in the neighborhood, they're character witnesses. They might not be pressing charges,
but what's your character?
They're a character that he's a pervert, that he messes with little kids.
Of course.
That he even documented fake documents. That he even fake documents to bury a child.
Right.
But okay, so then how come they need to go back and crucify Woody Allen's nasty?
But they're not
Roman Polanski.
They're not crucifying him on Aaliyah. Like, he's not being charged for that. These are character witnesses.
Right.
It was over 60 of them. Over 60 of them. It wasn't just Aaliyah. It was security guards. It was managers. It was people who worked at the
whole bunch.
Yeah, that's a vendetta,
so question.
Man.
So what makes it something different from what he did versus what Woody Allen, Jerry Lewis?
Well,
Jerry Seinfeld
is the people who were assaulted by them. They need to make them a documentary of surviving Woody Allen. I mean, I can't speak for those other people who didn't take their predator all the way. I can't speak for them.
The Weinstein victims,
I mean,
of them.
The Weinstein guy is still going through it right now. The other guy hung himself. The guy who was flying girls across the country. Yeah, Epstein, he hung himself. So there are other people. R. Kelly ain't the only one out there, but you can't force people to.
I was waiting on you to say that.
You can't force people to get on the stand if
Yes, it's called a
they handle that shit the way they want to handle that shit. And this particular
you said earlier they wouldn't even let him or his attorney speak
on the day of
Aaliyah.
Right. On the
so he couldn't defend himself, he couldn't say nothing.
But whose fault?
So how is that?
That's his fault.
How is that?
No. He signed the NDA and paid her family off. That's his fault.
That's all. And honestly, Ara he did not need to take the stand. Because
it wouldn't have helped.
No, they probably would have trying to find some way to get you to death.
They would have cleared the courtroom and just turned the gas on him.
As soon as you stand on that Bible, he would have lied from the gate. I promise to tell the truth. Nigga,
they probably should have played a mental defense though.
Right.
Right, what?
When you go through that traumatic experience as a child,
right,
molested as a child, that can be
That
traumatic.
stays with
That
you.
might
I'm not
have
gonna
worked
say.
in
Hold on,
08.
I'm not gonna say that.
He could have tried that maybe in 08, but once he got off, he realized what the fuck he can get away with.
But you got a bunch of people enabling him. He had a bunch of
or not, though.
He had a whole bunch of enablers.
He got a bunch of enablers. Dude.
Yes, he do. But he had the choice also to get help back then. But instead of getting help, what did he do? He ran out the courtroom. I'm free.
Hold on. But Tanya, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Ladies.
Ladies. All of that shit.
She said he should have got help back then. Look at him. He is he's a alpha male. He is not going to get help. He's not going to tell somebody. No. He's not going to tell somebody that he was molested. He's not going to tell them that he was raped.
But people already
do you know how?
Think
about it. Even nowadays, when these boys come forward, people look at them sideways.
Black women,
they look at them sideways when they say something like that happened to them.
George Mason,
but they don't say nothing when the girl
ever tell them about the Franklins. Yes, we ain't even gonna see. Some of y'all don't even want to go there with me.
All of that.
Some of y'all don't even want to go there with me because y'all scared. But that's another subject for another day. But
I told you I'll be a moderator. Damn it.
In 2008, he had the opportunity. He knows what he's doing. It don't matter. I was molested. I was assaulted. There's millions of people out here who were molested and assaulted, and they not turn around and become a predator.
Exactly.
But think about it. That's the same thing as people who have alcoholic parents. A lot of them turn around and become alcoholics.
55 years old and still
but some of them don't.
Honestly, do we really know the ones that were molested at one point? Did they not? We don't know if they molested somebody. It's not like people come out and say, "Oh, well, this person is touching me. My dad is touching me. My mom is touching me." No, we don't necessarily know that, unless if a person was molested at a younger age and they become a molester when they got older.
But Carrie Ray, he didn't change his ways because he felt like he got away with it.
That's why
he did pretty much the first time. He did. And so that's why he didn't change his ways.
That's what I'm saying.
A bunch of people was telling him
he didn't want no help. If he didn't want no help, he got away with it. He was like, "Fuck that! Where the hoes at?"
And not only that, I'm gonna throw this. Look. I'm gonna throw this in there too. Not only did he get away with it, but he was like, and people was telling him it was okay. But listen, hold on. Not only that, but then listen. So on top of that, he still had girls and women throwing themselves at him. So why should he change in his head? Why should he change his ways?
Knows better, and that's why a lot of people keep saying the girls, they knew better. The girls. But he was the adult in most of these situations, and regardless if he can't read or write, that nigga had plenty of opportunities to get counseling.
So people better go back and look because he might have been. Look, he didn't have them sign an NDA. He had them sign a DNA.
He had them sign an NDA before he squirted his DNA on them and his urinated on them. Now,
Hey, sis, can I read y'all something that somebody had
What's up?
Can I just read y'all something real quick? It's just probably like a half a paragraph, if that. Probably only a couple seconds. They posted this about 53 minutes ago. She said, "I really do not care who does or do not agree. It was never about the violation of the girls. Never. It was about the money. Everybody was willing to overlook that shit as long as the money, status, and power was rolling. Once that shit started running out, then every fucking body had something to say. It was never about the girls." Then she
did not say that.
But still, where's the lie? Did he not sexually assault underage girls?
Yes,
it don't matter if they wanted to be there. If they say, "R. Kelly, I'm gonna love you to the end of this time, and I want to stay with you, and I'm only 15," he still committed a crime, whether he was broke or whether he was rich.
He still committed a crime, but he would still be committing that crime if he still had the money to commit it.
I don't know about that.
He would, because all them people would have still been silent.
I don't know
Everybody
about
around him would have still been silent.
I don't know about that.
That's real.
He technically didn't go broke until he was arrested in 19.
Well,
and that's when he had to start paying for them lawyers and all that stuff. Then he had to borrow money from his homegirl to pay his child support.
Wrong is wrong. I mean, he has to eat that karma. That's inevitable. He has to deal with that.
But see, that's the problem I find in a lot of people. Wrong is wrong, but we still making excuses why he shouldn't be locked up.
No, I'm saying I didn't say that he doesn't have to be locked up. I'm saying that he has to eat. That's part of his karma. He has to eat that. But for way that they are portraying this, for them portraying this man is that, and peep this out, bad behavior is learned. You're not born with bad behavior. That's learned. So I can guarantee you, whatever his deal or issue was, or whatever he did, I'm trying to figure out, is it any more negligent than the next person's in the same situation? Would this case be, say your local neighborhood pervert, say it's somebody that we grew up with? There's plenty of niggas that we grew up with.
Well, I know somebody personally who sexually assaulted somebody in my family for like 10 years.
You see
from the time they were barely able to write their name. So they got old enough. Hold on. From the time they were barely able to write their name and tie their shoes, till they got old enough to realize this ain't normal. And what did they do? They told their parent. Their parent pressed charges. That person is still in prison today after 7 years. So, to me, a crime is a crime. It don't matter if you're rich or whether you're poor. Now it's up to certain people to make sure that the person who slept with them or assaulted them goes to jail. We can't speak for every single person in the world who did not go to jail. And as far as him, people using an excuse that, oh, he's famous, people just want to knock a black brother down, all this kind of bullshit. That's the same excuses we keep hearing. And that's the same reason why a lot of people do not come forward on their victims. Because people think, oh, it's all about the money. Nobody's going to believe me. They're going to think I just gave it to them. And woo, 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 woo. And it's not right. And
in his case, most of it is about the money. In his case, most of it is.
Thank God for the Me Too movement, be sticking up for certain women, because we continually victimize women. And regardless if he had money or not, that doesn't make it right for him to have sex with 14, 15.
No, of course not. Nobody's saying that.
He's going to be convicted anyway. So why do money keep coming into the situation?
But see,
if he still committed a crime,
that's not cool. No, nobody's now. I don't know anybody in their wrong.
No, we ain't saying that.
For him to be messing around with. No, come on, really? Come on, so that wipe that whole man bloodline off the planet Earth if that was my bloodline. But anyway, that has nothing neither here nor there. I'm saying is that's not right at all for anybody, no matter what the age it is. Whether it's a 14, 15-year-old, an infant, or even an elder, or somebody that's in your age group. Violation is a violation. So as you said that there's no excuse for any crime, then guess what? Then that means that everybody that's involved with the shit, even the accusers, because the messengers, some of them is just as equal.
And I've been saying that forever. Everybody who's been enabling him, they all need to go to jail, from the drivers to the.
That's even some of the.
What about the cop? What about the cop who checked the ID on one of his little girlfriends, and they saw her ID and saw she was underage, and they still turned the eye.
Lock him up.
There's cops. There's all kind of people, from cops, from pastors, like the pastor who married them. I still say, you talking about you didn't know Aaliyah was Aaliyah. Okay, that's cool. You might not have knew she was famous because she wasn't really that famous at that time, but she was getting up there. But you had to have known Aaliyah when she was just with R. Kelly and without the makeup and without the bling bling and without the hair. She looked like a little fucking kid. So this damn preacher married the two of them, R. Kelly's old ass. He knew he was presented a DNA. He said, I'm not signing that shit because it doesn't look legit. But he still married them. And then all these years later, he never came forward, even after hearing all these rumors, all these years that Aaliyah was 15. That same pastor never came forward until he was subpoenaed for this court, for this trial. So yeah, a lot of them, the person at the welfare office who took the $500 to make Aaliyah a fake ID, all of them.
Yeah. All of them. So
the whole empire.
Nope.
But why do I think it's coming? I think it's coming, y'all. I don't think this is over.
I ain't gonna hold my breath, but I mean, they got who they
I ain't neither. Right.
That's why they got who they wanted, because I guarantee you all of them got some kind of deal.
And they ain't got they ain't got nothing to offer.
In order that they got who they wanted. They got
They didn't care about the smaller fish. They didn't care about the other folks.
Yeah, they didn't care because of the money. Everybody was on his payroll. Like the rapper who took to the stand in defense of R. Kelly. He said, I never seen no girls around R. Kelly. But then when they asked him, well, what about this person? I
heard he had a dip. Yeah. I heard he answered the prosecutor one way and then the defense attorney another. It was like
the cop. That's the same thing with the cop. They said, have you ever seen R. Kelly around little girls, underage girls? No. Well, what about Aaliyah? Oh yeah, well, what about Aaliyah's friends? What about the backup dancers? What about? He was like, oh yeah, yeah.
Well, how come they just won't ask the paparazzi? They know every goddamn thing.
Exactly.
The thing is, the bottom line is, y'all, he committed a lot of sex crimes with underage girls and boys.
Right, that doesn't make it.
There was boys involved too, and he groomed them all. He groomed them all to do what he wanted and how he wanted.
On that, I'm not giving him no excuses on whatever it is that he had did to violate. But what I'm saying is that they made this like a global, like it was a global pandemic on that.
They got him. They got him on Rico. On Rico.
So I'm saying, but had this shit.
They got him on Rico charge. This motherfucker.
But Tanya, what I'm saying, they only charge Rico on. He's the first person they've ever tried on Rico that's not a gangster.
Is that his fault?
That's not part of the mob.
Is that his fault? Hey, you reap what you sow.
Nah, he wasn't.
No, that's wrong.
He would never be in this situation. But he would never be in this situation if he would have learned his lesson in 2008. He would have never been in this situation. But he continued to do the grimy shit that he was doing.
But that's just like niggas out there on the street slanging. We can use that same. We can use that the same way these niggas out here slanging in the street. Yeah, you get shot out, and you still out there going and you killing your community. And nobody say nothing. You still out there doing it. Your family, your auntie still doing. Oh, girl, please, it be families. But you see what I'm saying?
No, because who's out there advocating? If ain't nobody advocating, if ain't nobody standing up for their rights, if ain't nobody pressing charges, 1 million people could be in jail right now if somebody says something.
Hell, the judge or the prosecutor probably some hidden closet perverts. They probably some child molesters.
He's a whole virus. R. Kelly is a walking virus.
He's one of the many walking viruses.
He's a walking virus. How many underage girls have he had sex with? And people still out here talking about, oh, they just trying to destroy the black man because he got money. I'm so tired of hearing that. Like, the man did horrible crimes to people. So what? He had money.
Guess what?
But how many of them young girls actually wanted to?
It don't matter. They were underage. It don't matter.
T-Pain already tried to pull that argument. They don't want to hear that.
In the eyes of the law,
in the eyes of the law, it was.
He was wrong. They were kids.
In the eyes of the law, exactly.
In the eyes of the law, he was wrong. They were kids. What are we missing here?
But these are 16-year-old girls with their titties out and short ass skirts, bending over in front of him,
still kids being
wanting him to touch him.
They still kids.
Who allowed them to go to that environment is the ones that's just as equally guilty.
They still kids. So if this was your daughter, you would say, oh, don't press charges on him because that's our daughter and she took money to buy clothes from him.
No, everybody gonna get that.
Okay, then I don't understand what people as an adult with children. I don't understand like the. First
off,
money out of it. He still.
I'm basing it all legally.
Popularity being known,
I'm
out
going
there
by legally
in the motherfucking world for me not to know who my daughter kicking it with, and I got 4 goddamn girls. So
kids do stuff behind our backs all the time.
Okay, again, I'm one of them.
But to move in with him,
and I dare you to tell me I don't have.
I'm just saying, kids. It takes 3 minutes to have sex. Kids do stuff behind our backs all the time.
All the time.
We can't stop them from doing everything. We can't stop them from making mistakes. They gonna make mistakes.
Exactly.
But legally speaking, that's all that matters here. It don't matter that he was famous, that he had a mansion, that he was giving out money. It don't matter. He was the fucking Pied Piper, and he admitted that years ago. Like, it doesn't matter. We gotta go by the law.
R. Kelly wouldn't have been that shit if he. R. Kelly would not have been that kind of shit if it wasn't for the music and his celebrity status. That nigga still been looking goofball true and goofy and lonely and basically secluded to his goddamn self.
But we still gotta go by the law. In the end, we still gotta go by the law. So
exactly. But if it wasn't for his status,
if it wasn't
they wouldn't be charging him for RICO. They wouldn't be charging him with RICO. Is what we trying to say.
I'm just trying to figure out where the RICO charges come in.
If it wasn't because it was sex trafficking and racketeering.
Okay, so he was
racketeering.
Hold on, so he was the mastermind. No, I'm just trying to find this out. So basically he was the mastermind behind all this that they're saying.
He was the mastermind behind the entire empire. He was running an empire. RICO charges. He's running a sex trafficking.
So he was running a sex trafficking ring. That's what y'all. That's what you're saying.
Really? Where y'all been?
Honestly, I don't.
I've been reading that, but it's like, okay, so you trying to
tell me
y'all playing with me
you
now?
Trying to tell me he bigger picked than Don Juan?
I ain't been watching none of this shit.
Y'all playing. He had his employees.
No, I'm not playing for real.
Picking up. He had his employees buying plane tickets and all kind of shit, flying little girls all across the country
to him. But
yes.
See, when I think of trafficking,
I don't think a lot of y'all been following the case as much as other people. I think
when you say trafficking,
see, no, when you say trafficking, being said, we in Texas, when they trafficking these girls down here, they basically selling these girls to be prostitutes.
That's not the only trafficking description, though.
Trafficking is trafficking.
But I can see
that's
trafficking.
Not the only trafficking description,
these girls to you. I can see that.
He was trafficking women, little girls, 14, 15, 16. Underage girls across states. Washington, Minnesota, Chicago, Atlanta, Florida, all across the state. That's RICO's charges. And he had an empire. He didn't do it himself. He had other people buying these tickets. He had people picking them up, dropping them off, putting them up in hotels, making their reservations. It was an empire.
Okay, so he wasn't the only one that's running it.
No. And that's why I said all the people need to be charged.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not.
They're not. But I still think, I'm telling you, I think we're going to be surprised. I think
I would be more surprised if they did charge other people. I would be more surprised if they did.
I'm not saying they will, but I think they might. I just think they might.
Like who?
Like that manager and his brother.
By the federal government, I don't know.
I guarantee you, they got some kind of form of immunity.
Oh hell yeah!
Or maybe they might cut a deal and explain everything from. I don't know, but I see more. I don't see this is the end. I don't.
Well, I hope. Well,
but I'm telling you, like Tone said, they got who they want. They got the big fish. They don't need them other ones.
I just hope that his case is just not the end for this type of situation. That's
right.
I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve, but at the same time, for them to like make this seem like that this brother is like the worst person to exist, like he's the first one to do this shit, is like
he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I need Harvey brought up on a whole lot of racketeering charges. Then he definitely needs some RICO.
Who?
And he's still
Harvey's still locked up, but they ain't pressing no federal charges on him.
So it happens to other people too. And the Epstein, he would still be locked up too if he wouldn't have killed himself.
But they ain't charged him with no RICO, no federal RICO charges.
I don't give a shit. I don't think that man dead.
Hey, man.
I don't think old boy dead. The one from here.
He ain't dead. I don't think he dead either. Jake, whatever that.
Y'all know who I'm talking about? Jake Gardner. Y'all know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, he Stiff City. He had that kind of money.
I couldn't be wrong.
He ain't had that Epstein.
Yeah,
money.
he ain't had that long money like that.
Yeah, Epstein had hundreds of millions, access to billions. And so the little Gardner, he might have had a little change, but no.
Who's that little Gardner?
Yeah, little Gardner. Yeah, he's Stiff City, as Bishop Richardson was saying. He going on to Stiff City.
Bro, said little.
He ain't going. He ain't kicking it too. He ain't kicking it. He ain't out there in Disneyland or World or whichever one that's out in California.
Epstein. So which one was
Disneyland?
Oh, you think somebody? Hold on. Is that the wrong person? I thought he killed himself.
Yes, he did, but some people say he didn't.
Oh, okay. That's
some people say he was murdered.
No,
overseas or somewhere.
Well, I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. Even if he is dead, he still didn't kill himself.
Have no extradition.
That's true. That's
What's
true.
going on, fam?
If I had millions of dollars, well, see, I wouldn't commit no shit like that.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna tell you what the hell I'm gonna do.
But no,
oh man, with the blades and lemon juice.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you though.
Mo Better said they think he was also murdered as well.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I said. A lot of people think he was killed.
Epstein is one of the two situations, and he's not a conspiracy theorist or theory. It's one of two things. Either he was an implant, and they had to get him off the scene, or two, he's Stiff City, and they just ghosted him, but made it look like
because he knew too much. Because see, the thing with Epstein,
it was too much. It wasn't so much too much. He not only
was doing too much.
Access. He had access to too much.
But see, you know the difference. The difference with Epstein and the difference with R. Kelly is that R. Kelly was doing all the crimes. People were enabling him. The thing with Epstein, he was flying all these young girls over into his little country, his little island. He was flying all these girls for other people, including him.
Okay, that's still sex trafficking.
Exactly.
I know. I'm just saying there's still a difference there. It's still wrong what they both did. But see, my thing is with R. Kelly, with him doing it all by himself, and with Epstein having other people fly with him, other stars, like other people in high places. They
Trump, Clinton.
Sis Kells had money, but he had money, but he didn't have revenue flow like that to where
Who, Epstein?
No, R. Kelly. R. Kelly had finances. I mean,
no. What I'm saying is, who's R. Kelly gonna bring down? The driver. Epstein could bring down people up in really high places.
Oh
Epstein, if he was,
I know that. I'm with you on that.
I can see somebody killing him if it's because of, he been able to implicate others.
Well, Epstein. Well, see, the thing with Epstein is that because he could have just said names. And that right there would have brought down, governments and all kind of shit. And it's like that's too bad.
Thank you, Tiana. She know what I was trying to say.
For sure, I mean, no,
I'm glad somebody did.
I went to South High School. My vocabulary ain't that long.
Not girl.
That's what happened.
Here's the thing. The man did it. Okay, he did it. He guilty, whatever. All right. Now, what's next? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know after all this hoopla hobla that's been going on about this Robert R. Piper Kelly. Or whatever the hell. I at the end of the
Kelly. No. You called him what you call him, Lil Harvey?
Yeah, Lil Harvey.
Lil Kelly.
Yeah, Lil Kelly and Lil Jake. All of them. Everybody, listen. I want to know exactly what is going to be what is the end game to this is what I want to know. Like, okay, is it the fact that is it that he was just a regular or whatever entertainer, regular man, whatever, that got caught up in his own end game, or is he basically a pawn to a bigger scheme?
Well, I for one believe. I've been saying from the beginning that I think everybody should be arrested, charged. I've been saying that for a long time, and I for one believe that this is just setting the like all these big people, high profile people, whatever you want to call them, R. Kelly, the Epsteins, the Harveys, whatever. I would hope that this in later years will make people double think their morals. Is it worth it? Is money this important? Should I speak on it? I mean, so much stuff in this industry, in the entertainment industry. A lot of people give away a lot of things, not just Kelly, not just Harvey, not just Epstein, not just Bill Cosby, not
Well, you
just.
saying is
I
money
mean,
that important, but think
it's
about
a
it.
lot
If
of
you
them.
from the hood, like Kelly and them, they grew up in the project. You from the
But see,
project.
I get
You
that,
ain't
but what
never
I'm
had
saying is
nothing.
from this trial, from these charges, if in fact they do go after the other people in the empire, I hope this makes people think. That's what I hope. That's what I hope will be the end game. Is that people and all these people in the entertainment center, the ones who are famous, the ones who can have anybody they want. I would hope that they rethink their positions too.
Hope it gives
And
them
people stop
pause.
turning a side eye. Like there was people in R. Kelly's camp, other entertainers, lawyers, all kind of people who saw these young girls running around his house playing double dutch and hopscotch and watching
He
movies.
was out there
Watching
hopscotching it
Disney
too.
show.
He said
I mean,
double
come
dutch and
on now.
hopscotch.
I mean, yeah, double dutch, hopscotch. You know, lie, clap. Come on, y'all. And it's like I just hope that more people, not just the entertainers, but the people around them, will be like, we can't keep doing this. It's wrong. Okay, I'm gonna have to mute Karma Diva. I don't know what all that noise is, Karma Diva, but it's a lot of feedback. Karma
It
Diva.
was just me coming. Oh, sorry, I was walking out the front door.
Oh, okay.
My
Let me read
screen
some
is
of the
squeaky.
I'm gonna go up and read some of the comments.
Gotta
Okay,
go see my
Tiana.
mama.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you, Karma Diva. Tiana said, in my own opinion, they got what they wanted. I don't think anyone else is going to be held accountable for adding him in the criminal. And that might be the case. I hope not, but hey, I can only wish. Money is important to some people who don't have shit. Yeah, that's true. Money is the root to all evil. You absolutely right. Tiana, believe those people got immunity. So a few of the people got immunity, but that's not the whole empire. So he had hundreds of people who worked for him, and only a few of his staff members actually testified. Everybody else was mostly victims and the pastor and the people from the courthouse and all that kind of stuff. But Kimberly Lachelle, Kiss of Bliss, Sirens confirmation. Kimberly said sirens confirmation. We heard the sirens in Karma Diva's background. She said confirmation. But y'all got some last minute words, Tone or your wife, Karma Diva, because I do have another show I have to do. I'm doing a review of the finale of Empire.
So that's why, yeah, I'll just hit you.
Please hit me. Please hit me. Please hit me because I really want to do the ladies thing. And I know we all have busy lives and everything. So that's why I only wanted to be like maybe once or twice a month. But I really would like for us all to have our own platforms so we can alternate. And don't you start, Karma Diva. Don't you start.
I was about to say something, but
everybody to have a YouTube channel.
You want our food?
Am I lying?
She ain't lying. Tiana, I'm waiting on Tiana to start a channel too.
No.
See, look.
But is there anybody in the chat who has their own channel? I know Miss Sislo Newsworthy has a channel, so y'all hit her spot up. I know Sassy. Sassy has her own channel. I think Sassy, her name is way up here. Sassy has a channel, so make sure y'all hit her channel up. Donna Being Real has a channel, so make sure y'all hit her channel up.
I'm working
Polo
on mine.
the Creator has a channel, so please make sure you hit Polo up. She goes live almost every morning. She does like her walk-in workout lives, and she be talking about all kind of stuff. Let's see who else that I know for sure was in the chat with a channel. Melissa King, she has a channel. Her channel is on like finances and improving your credit and home businesses, benefits of having home businesses. She talk about all that stuff. Fifi TV has a channel. Fifi is a beautiful lady and she does makeup and then she does everything else too. Talk about trending stuff and all kind of stuff. 2300 has a channel. Ooh, it's a lot of y'all in here. Shout out to my YouTuber friends.
The Hood Table got their own channel.
We see y'all. Tone about to get his own channel.
You damn right. Y'all gonna learn today. Y'all gonna learn.
And when he do, I'm gonna come on there and go to sleep.
I'm gonna enjoy coming to your channel.
Yeah,
when he get I'm gonna come on there and go to sleep.
Yes, Kimberly Lachelle, a kiss of bliss. Hold on, she said she got a channel.
Hold on. She said, come on over and go to sleep, huh?
Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can find Lachelle.
I love you, bro. I love you.
She said, come on over there and go to sleep.
Right. Hey, that's a sign that you made a place comfortable.
Look at Kimberly. Oh, that's you with them dreads. Is them dreads or some braids? Oh, you cute girl. You cute girl.
Thank you, girl.
Oh, Kimberly, she's cute. Let me subscribe to her channel. I'm about to and I ain't subscribing because you cute. I'm subscribing because you supporting my channel. I try to subscribe to everybody who's supporting my channel. Yes, make sure y'all go to Sassy Show. The Sassy Show. Hey. Yes, Kimberly, congratulations. You got 100 subbies. Hey. Well, you just got I'm like one. What you got? What you got now? Like 10. Hold up. It says you got 110, so I must be 111. I must be 111. Let me drop your link in here. Okay, I'm gonna drop a couple of links. There's Kimberly's. There's Kimberly's. Y'all check her out. The Sassy Show. How many of y'all subscribe to the Sassy Show? She's a beautiful woman too, and she's very intelligent.
That's what I'm talking about. Sis giving out love. That's how you do
it. Yes, and I love these intelligent, black, beautiful women that have YouTube channels. There goes Sassy's channel. I don't know who else is still here in the chat, but Karma Diva. Let me see if I can find your channel. It's hard to find channels sometimes when you don't have the link. Oh, I found Karma Diva. Hey. This your channel so people can subscribe.
Oh.
Okay, let me drop one more channel.
To my regular page. Don't put them on that.
Which page?
On my regular one. Not the combos page. My regular page.
Okay.
Because I was gonna call you and have you help me set up the combo page, but I ain't did that yet.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you ain't set it up yet, then I can't send them there because right now your Carmo Diva combos is on your Carmo Diva page, your regular page.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Send them to my regular page.
Yeah, that's what I sent them to. You only got one, girl.
Okay.
Let me get Miss Sislow. Yeah, because you was gonna start a separate page from that one. That'll be what's up. Okay, now I'm gonna drop Miss Sislow's. I got y'all. Yes. Kimberly said, essential oils advocate for doTERRA. We just got FDA certified. Yay. #1 in the nation. That's what's up.
Y'all, oh, wait a minute. Y'all in San Antonio. Never mind.
Yeah, she in San Antonio. And then, they in San Antonio.
Because I might have to come to Texas for about a month.
Yeah.
Go on down. What part of Texas?
I don't know. I got to see. They trying to move my mama out of where she at now.
Oh.
Talking about ain't no dialysis beds anywhere within 100 miles of Omaha.
You mean we got to move to Texas?
Yeah, they trying to make me go to Chicago. I'm like, let's try Texas. At least I got folks in Texas.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Well, Tone, people in the chat said they can't wait for your brother. They said I can't wait for Brother Tone and them channel.
Oh, you already know. You already know. It's going down.
Yes, have a good evening, everybody. They said thanks for all the laughs, conversations, entertainment. It's the hood table, y'all. It's the hood table. We might all be on
one. We can't talk about it here. We can't talk about it anywhere.
Thank you. We can't talk about it as a family and still agree and disagree on certain different things and still be cool with each other. Then it ain't the hood table, y'all.
Exactly.
It ain't. It ain't. But I love you guys.
It ain't right.
Love you too, sir.
Hold on. Kimberly says she's 2 hours from Omaha. What?
Yes, I got it.
Kimberly, did you see my video that I just uploaded last night? The clashing with the Clippers event that went on in Des Moines over the weekend. One of our drill teams was there performing, the Primetime Steppers, and I uploaded certain video clips from the event. So you might have been there. That's what's up. Yeah, that's a big event. It happens every year, Clash of the Clippers in Des Moines. But yes, on that note, you girl, Sassy says she subscribed to everyone that I dropped links. Thank you guys. Please keep supporting everybody. We really appreciate you. She said, yes, Trey is my baby cousin. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Okay, everybody, I'm driving and I'm losing my signal. So I'm going to say good night, everybody. Be smart, be safe, be vigilant. Keep it hood at all times.
All the time.
Already.
And we're going to see y'all later. Keep me in my family. Please.
Love you guys, and we will keep Mama lifted up in prayer. And wherever she go, we going. Yeah. We going to take the hood table with her.
You already know. For sure.
Yeah. Well, stay safe. Be blessed. I'll be back later, you guys. To all my Power fans, I'll be back later to do the finale of Power Raising Canaan. And then tomorrow we're going to do BMF. Tone, have you watched BMF?
No, my wife is on it. I'm still, you know me. So by the time I get done, you know, winding down, you know, from all the square footages and mechanicals and all that stuff. I watched it from time to time with her. I peeks it, you know, she stayed glued to it, so she on it.
Well, she need to join me when I be doing my reviews because I'm gonna do the last Power one tonight. Power 2 is supposed to start back over in November, but I'm gonna tell her
to get your notifications set on because I notice every single, like I said, you and Willie D.
Willie D, you got me beat though.
It don't matter.
Upload after upload.
Notifications. But as far as notifications though, on the strip, no, I get all of your notifications.
Oh, I love you.
Love you too, yeah, notifications though, I do get them, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, especially on the book. I get them on the book and on the YouTube, so that you'll join.
Y'all better follow me. Those out here that don't follow me, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, IG, TikTok, whatever, Snapchat, and we got our website, thehoodtable.com. Kimberly, you said your sister went, they shut it. Girl, yes, they shut it down. Yes, your beautician came in second at the class. Man, see, I'm gonna talk about that show probably like Tuesday or Wednesday because that was nice. That was nice. But on that note, everybody, please like and share the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Support the other YouTubers in the chat. And Tone, we be looking forward to your channel. And your
wife. Y'all know what it is.
Well, yes. Coming straight from the 402 all the way down to the Texas. You have to come through.
Already. They know what it is.
All right. Stay safe. Be blessed. I'll see everyone later this evening for a review of Power Raising Canaan. I love you guys. Thanks for your support as always. Bye.
Keep it up.
Keep it hood.